And hello, welcome back. New content, same people, same lateness, 7 minutes over time. How is everyone doing? I'm so glad to see that chat is working. Everyone in chat say hello.
You said late. We're fashionably late.
Well,
There's
we're
a
before
difference.
fashionably late. 7 minutes late. Unwatchable.
Okay.
Thank you, Borderkin. So here we are.
Wow, unwatchable. Well,
Officially beginning on the proper channel.
yeah.
Are you guys
Okay.
nervous?
It's a bit...
It's just Paul.
No,
talking?
sorry. No, you haven't done the intro yet, dude. Are we rolling?
You waiting for the? Okay, we can go again. Hi, good evening,
Are we
guys.
live?
Welcome
Yeah.
to the
Yeah,
Content
no, start
Deathmatch.
up. Start up. More energy
And
this time. Pete,
scene.
more energy. Come on, let's go. I know we're live, but let's pretend
My
we're
wife
not.
is in
Go,
the other
more
room.
energy.
The children are upstairs sleeping. They may laugh at me, but hi, guys. Welcome to the
I
channel.
just had to switch my trousers. Wait, what?
This is episode 1, not to be confused with the previous episode 1 where we were in our pajamas. Yeah. So, what have we got lined up for us tonight? Because I have not brought up the content sheet. All I do know is that we have Alien Week.
Oh yes.
Boo.
Boo.
Why? Right. Hold up. Why boo?
Well, I like the Raylan.
Me too. It's not here yet,
The
and it won't be
Raylan.
here.
Yeah. Like, I think the Raylan is definitely my favorite alien ship. But as far as I'm aware, humans first, man. Like that's what I'm on about.
Ooh, you sound like a
I-
Xeno.
I too want. Oh.
No, no, Xenothreat a bit too extreme for my taste. They're a bit,
Can't
yeah.
pick and choose.
It's okay to not like something. You don't have to kill people because you don't like something.
True. Also,
I mean,
very...
I'm not a massive alien ship fan, and I made a whole video about that. But the Sulen, that was top tier for me. I don't.
ET ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, listen. I too am waiting for the Raylan, but after the latest SCL, where they basically told us the ships they were working on, and they said if you don't hear it in this list, don't expect it anytime soon. So I don't think we'll be getting the Raylan until minimum this time next year, minimum. So it's a shame because it's
Yeah.
it's the alien ship that everyone wants. But well, I say everyone wants that. I feel like most of the people that we play with or talk to want. But yeah, it's a hard one, man. I'm not a massive fan of the alien ships. I love the Sulen. I don't know if it's just because of the vertical takeoff and landing, though. I'd like, what's your input? What did you think of the Sulen when it came out?
I mean, when they did that, when I think it was the Inside Star Citizen, when they released it, they did the shot of it coming over the trees, and it was sort of like blocked out view, and that was taken from ET. So, I think from how it looks, and it's having the whole different kind of takeoff, super interesting. But when you actually go to use it, it's rather annoying. I think it was Spectre is in the chat. I think it was Spectre and we managed to check one out that was stranded, and like we were trying to get around that ship, and it wasn't smooth sailing. It was quite finicky. So yeah, I think it looks cool, but I'd rather have something like a C1 or an Avenger Titan even.
Fair. What about you, CJ? I mean, actually, no, forget CJ. He's Drake only. How about you, One Dark? What do you think of alien ships? I don't think I've ever spoken to you properly about alien ships, actually. Now that we're on the topic, and it is Alien Week.
So the Sulan opened my eyes a little bit, I must admit. I was really intrigued by the design when it first came out. It was obviously the way that you ascend. I'm going to do a Chris Roberts special now, but the way that you ascend up into the cockpit and then take off vertically, that was incredible, and it was rapid. And once I acquainted myself with the rear view camera, it was enjoyable to like fly and land. But seriously, nah. And I know Dan McCabe, great guy, who undertook that task in creating it. I think it was his second task after he did the Mirai Fury. Excellent work, my guy. It's just not for me. But that being said, I may have melted a few ships, including the Pioneer, to allow the Alien Complete pack. And I'm going to go and try out all of the ships and really give my take on Probably by the time we convene next.
Hold on, I'm unfriending you on Discord.
On
But
everything,
can
dropping
can
at the
I
call.
can I wanna ask you guys, and I'll even throw in my three. What are your three favorite um alien craft? Like for me, it would definitely be Raiden at the top, Asperia Talon second, and then third would be I think the Vandal Scythe. Um, Story behind that being that you used to be able to get the wing out, and the wing is actually like a melee weapon, so you used to be able to one hit kill a hammerhead with the wing of a scythe. But then they've disabled that, so you can't do that anymore. But yeah, what about you guys?
Go on, CJ. I feel like you haven't chimed in. I know you're Drake all the way, but you must have an alien ship that you like.
Well, I definitely do have an alien ship I like. And most people in
Ironclad.
the community, yeah, is the Drake Herald. No, most people in the community probably hate me for this one, but the best alien ship in the game, and that ever will be in the game,
It's
is
gonna be Prowler.
It's the Asperia Prowler.
Oh,
It's such a architecturally, it's such a beautiful ship. It's just so cool on how it lurches on its shoulders and stuff like that. And the concept of it is one of like one of the nicest concept alien ships, like in regards to what it's supposed to do. So it's magnetized to vehicles, so it can like completely like attach onto a ship and board in space. And it's supposed to be super stealthy. It isn't at the minute, but when they fix that gameplay, it will. But again, the rest of the alien ships, I don't really care for, unless they decide to make a new concept alien ship, and that will be the oh, what is it called now? The cutter.
All right, let's
No, no. I need to one sec. I'm gonna search it. But it's the boarding ship, the Vandal boarding ship. Cleaver.
oh,
It's the Vandal
Cleaver.
Cleaver. And if you watch the end of the video they released at CitizenCon, do you know where there's scene of like the boring into the side of a ship and then the two Vandal came out? That was from a Vandal Cleaver.
Just to let you
Ooh.
know, Borderkin in chat said Driller. He's catching us up. So is it the Cleaver? Or
No, the Driller is it the mining ones? I think, but it's definitely the Cleaver. I think the Driller is the there isn't one.
Is it a concept ship? Have we seen the Cleaver?
It's I think it's a it's the capital ship for the Vandal, but it's a nickname Driller. But yeah, so the they're the Cleaver, if they ever implement it, will be awesome because it utilize Maelstrom, bore through the side of vehicles, and you can board. That's gonna be so cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be. But other than that, the rest of the alien ships are pretty rubbish.
can go to one.
Yeah, exactly. Just go back through the jump gates to wherever they came from. The best one is the Prowler, and there is no change my mind on that one. I'm sorry.
Fair. Yeah, I think I'll just echo what Easton said. To be fair, the Raylan is the ship that I'm most looking forward to, alien wise.
It is a beautiful ship.
Oh, I just can't wait for it. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be like my main cargo ship. But when it comes down to the current ones that are in the game, I love the Glaive and the Scythe. I think they're really cool ships. The Talon is interesting, but yeah, I think the Sulien is like the top for me, other than the Raylan. And then yeah, probably the Scythe. I have to agree, that is also awesome. I haven't really tried the Defender, but the Defender is probably the most alien ship, if that makes sense. And I love how it reminds me of like Superman's ship from Man of Steel. I just love that the design of the interior really reminds me of like a Man of Steel kind of ship, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But I think they have the coolest sound. I mean, nothing sounds cooler than the Car2L. I will die on that hill. The Car2L is the coolest sounding vehicle in Star Citizen, with no argument, in my opinion.
I think that is a good point because, like, apart me, the main draw for me to check out an alien ship is the quantum effect that they each have. and that's cool that
Mm.
they have different ones. Like I think the Banu Defender's green, and I'm not sure what the more Xian type ones do, but do they have anything different? Can you guys tell me? Because I don't touch that. I ain't touching
Nah.
that alien stuff.
Could tell.
Nah.
Is there someone in chat that can tell us? If so, let us know. What
Russell,
about you, One Dark?
I missed the question.
What are your 3 top favorite
Oh,
alien
we're still
ships?
on that
And I'm
one.
surprised no one's mentioned the Banu Merchantman yet.
Because
It
it's
seems that
Overrated.
it used to be the favorite, but now it's just got too big for its boots. Maybe.
It's just a mini Kraken. And do you know what the Kraken is? Fucking Drake.
I'll tell you what, there's one ship I am looking forward to. There you go.
Yeah, I
said
think
it
everyone. I
on
think
stream.
that is everyone is looking forward to that ship.
I think I'm the only one that's like I can take it or leave it. I'm looking forward to the Anvil capital ship whenever it comes.
The one
Maybe
that's not
10
in
years
law.
from now. I don't know. The one that is just not there yet, but will
Mm.
be at some point. The Anvil capital ship will come, and I
Will
will
it though?
buy it. It will. It's out there somewhere. Some dev's mind there's a capital ship or concept artist.
Mm. Mm.
Jinx.
But yes, whilst we're on the topic of
Hmm.
Alien Week, I will say, for anyone that doesn't know, I've had a little break from content creation just because I've got a new dog. But there is a
Oh,
reason I'm mentioning
congratulations.
this. Thank you. There is a reason I'm mentioning this. I will be coming back to content in very shortly, and one of the first things I'll be doing is announcing a brand new Alien Week giveaway for the Sulien and the new paints for the Sulien.
Ooh.
And when I announce that, there'll be some steps to undertake to be able to take part in that giveaway. And one of the steps will be to follow the Quantum Dispatch right here on Twitch. And
Oh, wow.
so make sure if you're watching the VOD or you're watching the recording on YouTube, make sure to sub on the YouTube because both of the subscription on YouTube and the follow on Twitch will form part of the giveaway. So make sure you do that. You can get ahead of the game for when I announce that in the next week or two. So yeah, get in now, get your Sulien and fantastic paints. And keep an
Amazing.
eye out there on Twitter and YouTube for the actual official announcement where you will have the rest of the details.
That's
How
a
do I
sweet prize.
unfollow on Twitch?
Well,
Yes.
and if that
Oh,
doesn't
no,
tickle your fancy, that there's also a Firebird giveaway that's going to be coming with that, and the same applies. So you know,
Oh,
Point still stands.
Look,
Hey,
I've
you
already
heard it.
given away, you know,
You heard it here
the
first.
Drake ship.
Rotisserie, what's it?
Rotisserie
Saber
chicken
rotisserie
giveaway.
chicken giveaway. Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, let's give some airtime to that Firebird right now. So, obviously, they're chasing the tail of the Saber Raven. Incredible craft. Definitely top 3. Flies like an absolute dream. Missile variant?
Top 3?
Really?
I like
Yeah.
I like it. I like the idea. There's more missile variants or missile vessels coming to the game. I think the
Okay.
Freelancer Miss needs a buff now to be a bit quicker because it's too slow in its fire rate, in my opinion. I'll be honest, I have not. The Firebird dropped just as I started my break from. I haven't played any video games or done anything on this. This is the first time this PC's been on in 3 weeks, so I haven't even been able to fly the Firebird, but it is in my hangar. So I will go and test it out. So unfortunately I can't really comment on what it's like in regards to how it plays and how it flies. But in regards to the concept of a missile boat, I personally love it. I love it.
Yeah, I like the idea that they've upped the missiles that you can fire. You can fire like a whole row now, which is great. I think it was one of our guys test firing at the ground, and it's got a lot of power to it. But the problem with these missile ships is they're at the mercy of the servers and the balancing. And the moment that missiles go, um, get some kind of nerf to them, those ships become you don't want to be flying them basically. So I was kind of hoping that because we saw modularity with the Retaliator and they were both coming at the same time, I was kind of hoping that they were going to make this Raven a modular variant and bring out sort of like a section for this middle that could be swapped out. So if you didn't want missiles, you could swap it for bombs or
Mm.
something like that. And I think that was a missed opportunity on like CIG's area. Maybe we could see that, because I think modularity for medium ships could be a viable way forward. I would love like a stealth bomber the size of a Raven. Like I would have definitely gone for that. That would have been cool.
How about this? What if instead of air-to-air missiles in the Firebird, what if they were air-to-ground missiles, like high explosive, large area of effect, like damage to the ground for taking out ground vehicles? So it was more of a ground attack ship opposed to, because I just think that missiles in the game right now are a little bit useless in some ways. I know
Yeah.
they've slowed them down recently, and again, I've only seen little bits of sort of content around this of how slow the missiles were going when they were testing some things.
Yeah.
But in general, I mean, there's only what 2 rows of 5, so you get what 10 missiles in the Firebird if I'm correct. It's not really.
doubled it.
Is it that?
I don't know. Well, we'd have to go to chat for that, I think.
How many missiles in the Firebird? Does anyone? I think it's 2 rows
It's
of 5.
got-
Oh, 20, 24. Okay, forget what I was about to say. I was about to say there's not enough missiles. There's plenty of missiles. But imagine if they were air to ground, large area of effect, and
Yeah,
you could just like barrage and do gun runs. That would be cool.
Who got that 24? It was Twitchy and
took it.
Bordigan.
Twitchy took the crown there.
And Spectre came in third, so Twitchy's crowned that. Nice one, Twitchy.
Do you know what, it's probably one of them
yeah.
variant. It's one of them times where he's probably typing, yeah, he's got it first, and he's thought, I'll add a bit more to that. And then other people got their
Combat
answer
Karen
ahead of him. God damn.
Combat Karen said, I want 48 missiles. Could we do 48 missiles on the Saber Raven?
Just get 2.
I don't know.
Just get 2.
Just get a cutlass.
I'd love to see a missile variant of the Terrapin. I think that would be awesome. And
yeah.
I imagine it would be like the Raptor from Battlestar Galactica with the missile boxes like mounted on top. Just like, just duff, 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 duff. And you've got the
Yeah.
radar suite on it as well, so you could like see what's coming.
Terrapin needs more love. Terrapin needs more love for sure.
It does, yeah.
I think the most stupid part of the Firebird was the missiles don't track to where the crosshair is, so they disappear off like down south somewhere. Obviously, they've only got the fancy firing, so they fancy the fancy and they come out the bottom, but they don't go towards the crosshair. So like you can't dumbfire them. Well, you can. You just have to aim off completely.
Is that a bug or intended though?
I don't know. Because like on the Eclipse, it roughly goes where the crosshair is, so you can dumbfire them, but you can't do it on the Firebird. And I think that the idea of ground effect, basically bombing, actually turning it into a bomber, not a torpedo gunship, if they could actually hit ground targets by dumbfiring, they would be very useful.
Dumbfiring would be great, and also having the reticle to be able to aim that would be awesome. But GFA, you mentioned something that was really cool, because we know they're going to give ammo variants. Missile variants are kind of there. We've got different missile variants, but having something like an airburst missile so that it explodes before impacting the target would be really cool. So it's like a concussive, or if you've got troops on the ground and they're in cover, it can hit them before it goes behind some kind of cover and they're protected.
Or if you can change them out to smoke canisters, and you can just have like a layer of smoke screen if you were like having ground assault to like for turrets, things like that. There's so many options with that kind of ship. You could turn that into such a good utility vehicle if the missiles have a bit more development in what they can do. So yeah, I mean, look, CIG are always open to new things, and that's what I do love about the development of this project. Is a lot of the times they'll hear things or see things that the community are saying, and they'll think that's quite a cool idea, and then they will at some point implement it. So who knows? I mean, I know things are moving a little bit slowly so far with like the cargo stuff, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little while. But yeah, I mean, look, there's so many options with that Firebird. They could really make it a versatile ship for different operations, and I think that's what makes it so interesting to me personally.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
What do you think of them removing the holes? The Saber Raven had the holes, and now they've swapped it out for kind of like the body style that's similar to the base saber. Personally, I actually almost prefer it. Like I like the fact they've done more with the back, with the tail. Like I think what they've done looks really, really good. And that new paint that came with it, I really wanted to try it out on my Saber Comet to see what it looks like. Black and gold, tasty as.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I prefer the fact that they did do it. I think the Saber Raven needs to stand on its own and keep the holes and keep that unique silhouette and that unique shape. I think that's really important because there's only one Saber Raven, and you want that to be as it. If a Saber Raven flies between you and the sun, and you just have that silhouette, that is important to stick to the Raven. In my opinion, I'm glad they kept that unique and that the Firebird was different. I'm happy that they did that.
Just like what Bordercon's touching on at the moment. Personally, just before, I hate it. I love them holes. The closest thing we've got to that now is the Eclipse. But the holes, the windows, the apertures in the wings actually takes away from the stealth effect of the craft, like IRL. So, yeah, it makes sense for them to enclose those windows to reduce the signature on the Firebird. Yeah. Right, 20 minutes in, that's our intro done. Yeah, sweet. So today on
Nice.
Content Dispatch, we have got talk about the current patch, the upcoming cargo patch, Invictus. What did you melt and why? And then obviously Alien Week. We'll look at those beautiful skins we were talking about earlier. I'm still churning around inside which 3 ships. I could just pick 3 random. Obviously, like the Sulan. Really looking forward to the Rylan. There is no third, unfortunately, not at the moment. I think the Alien. If we're going to take it seriously, we need a lot more. We need a lot more alien ships, a hell of a lot more in different
Do we?
facets. Yes,
Do you really mean that?
No, I do. I do.
No.
No, the thing is, I don't enjoy them.
This is not the one dark that I know. This is absolutely disgusting.
No, this is the realistic. So you're telling me you leave the atmosphere.
This is the first time we've disputed against anything on this, and I think we've been in this is our 11th episode now or something like that, right?
No, it's the first.
Oh,
it's
you
first
muted yourself.
official.
Okay.
No. So why do I say that? You leave the atmosphere, everything's human. Like we've got what 12 alien ships, maybe? I don't know.
Is it though? What about the space whales on Horizon? Like,
but you
know,
can't.
That's not human.
They don't come LTI. You get what I mean, right? So I mean, you've got different levels of civilization. Are we going to see like Dyson spheres out there in the verse? I really hope so, but do we know what that civilization would even look like?
You
God
don't
knows.
want to buy a Dyson sphere with LTI. That's going to be like a whole system.
I'm not saying I want a Dyson sphere, but the craft are going to be incomprehensible to our teeny weeny human minds. Obviously, we've got futurists out there, brilliant, get them on board and really go through what their craft would potentially look like, what sort of direction they would go, what their propulsion systems would be like, what their weapon systems would be like. Are we really to believe that the only ground vehicle for the aliens is a Nox? No, of course not. Should there be alien species out there that haven't attained the point yet where they can access space? Maybe they just wouldn't be like compatible with going out into space at all. Maybe their actual physical life form body wouldn't allow it. You need different civilizations at different stages, different vehicles, and I think we've got such a small selection of alien craft that all really look quite similar. So yeah, we do need more alien craft. Maybe there might be a species out there I'm like, that's for me. But at the moment, Aegis is my boy. Aegis.
So I'm gonna cut in there. 2 really quick points. We do have cluster munitions in game. Just digressing back, but I've been trying to research it and I found it. The Rattler size 2 missile is a cluster missile.
Yep.
So if they change the game code to detonate 10 meters off the ground, cool. There you go. Cluster bomb. And then back to the alien ships. We need more types. We are missing a snub alien ship. I reckon we should have something that is very small, potentially a racing craft. I know the Vandor, for example, aren't going to do racing, but say, for example, a really small, like a Merlin. It's really good for racing, but it's not its designed purpose. It's really fast. But imagine the design aesthetics of the blade. So you've got a snub fighter with the 2 like pronged blade arms, and you just zooming around. It's going to be like pod racing off Star Wars, isn't it?
I like this idea.
Cool.
Like I like this idea where it's going. But what about?
I think we definitely need an alien snub.
Okay, like the Pisces is still classed as a snub, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see an alien competitor to the Pisces because that is a really successful snub, and it
Yeah.
would be like an exploration variant. Like that'd be really cool.
Well, do you know what else would be Pisces size? The Vandal Cleaver.
Well,
Um,
the defender isn't much bigger, is it?
Yeah, Defender's huge.
Yeah.
And what am I thinking of then? Where it has an
Probably-
interior,
probably
but
the-
it's not massive.
Probably the Blade. No, the Blade don't have an interior.
Maybe it is a defender, and I'm just forgetting how big it was. I don't
Defender's
remember it
big,
being
it's
that
two
big.
crew.
Yeah, 2 crew, but I don't
Yeah,
remember it
Defender
being
then.
like ginormous. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, it is quite big. It's probably maybe wider than a Cutlass, I reckon, and probably not as long, but it's like a square shape, I think, in the footprint. So it's quite big.
Okay. Yeah, I saw someone who was it in chat said we need more alien
Industry.
like logistical ships and industry ships. Yeah, I could not agree more. That's probably the main reason you don't see too many alien ships because it's the same reason you probably don't see that many fighters. Like people fly fighters, of course, and do PVE, PvP, but I would say you see less fighters flying around on a regular basis than industry ships or even cargo ships because not everyone likes to do combat all the time. People like to have that more relaxing gameplay from time to time or mining or whatever. So I think having that industry will make alien ships more usable for the average player. But at the same time, as well, I think immersiveness. Some people, like myself, I don't like using alien ships because in the lore, it's not something that is common. And until they add, or until if they're going to add the opportunity to play as like different species rather than humans, I don't know if that's that's the plan. But if they don't add something like that, I don't see many people going towards alien ships. And I don't mind that so much. Like if alien ships are only really in the alien systems for the most part, I don't mind that so much. So I think it's a hard line to walk because most people want to be immersed, and the human ships just seem more useful and lore friendly right now, and maybe that's why we don't see too many alien ships.
You got to think of it strategically. The closest alien location to us is 1.0 and beyond. Like when it comes around to the actual game system, we game systems we have in, they're very far away. So what? This could be misconstrued, but what military would put their logistics system in front of their defensive line? So obviously at the minute we've got all of like the whole of Stanton to fly around in logistical ships, but Stanton's supposed to be like one of like I don't know if it's high sec, but it's a centralized location, so it'd be okay to see human ships flying around there, but you wouldn't want to see a Vandal logistic ship because it's so far out of its territory where it should be that it just doesn't make sense in lore. I know it's a video game and we kind of ignore that, but yeah, so we shouldn't see that as much as I would love to see an alien logistical ship, the Raylan, which is obviously coming. Well, I say Raylan, it's not necessarily alien, is it? But an actual proper, like a Vandal horrible
Merchantman.
ship. But even in lore, they don't have that many logistical ships, because the Vandal are a combat oriented race. So yeah.
Yeah.
Consider ourselves
fair.
told.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You're all wrong. I'm right.
But that's through the lens of like a very military looking lens of a battle space. Yes, absolutely right. But I didn't see the North Sea oil rigs and the fishing trawlers being supported by like fleets, like Navy. So
I think we're a bit farther away than the North Sea oil
exactly,
rigs.
it's still a logistic, isn't it? And there's nothing to defend against other countries that would want to take logistical craft. So there you go. Kind of like here and there. So yeah, it depends on what sort of battle space you're looking at in the universe.
Yeah, and I think when you look at each individual race, you have like the Banu. They very much tie their logistical stuff in with their combat stuff. It's very much the lines are much more blurred than what you would have in like human culture. So Vandal don't even do logistics, like CJ rightfully said. They're just combat. So it'd be interesting to see, I think, what the Tavaran are like, and there's some extinct races out there, which games like Freelancer did some pretty cool stuff where you could travel like the universe, and you'd find like some kind of wrecked alien ship that would be unknown, and you'd be able to research stuff. So I'd love to see what they do with that kind of lore. That'd be really sweet.
So whilst we talk about alien ships, should we look at this alien complete pack and see what's in it and see if it would be the pack for you?
Oh,
No,
Christ.
no. So
No.
the Drake Ironclad got
Yeah, yeah.
Can we
Right.
can we get the chat to vote?
Right, we have to wait a minute whilst they put the votes in. But at the very least, we can look at these beautiful paints that have been released for.
Don't let me down, chat. Just how the hell can we do
There
that?
you go. The votes are in.
One vote
The
is
votes are in.
Oh no!
two
I was really
paints.
hoping Twitchy was gonna. CJ, you can't vote yourself. But these
I
paints, they're pretty beautiful.
Yeah,
Just a shame we
yeah.
never
The
gonna
harmony
use
in
them.
the is it Oculus? Oculus? Oculus?
Achilles!
Oculus! Whatever that was.
He's
Sounds-
not with the army, sir.
they're the two paints in the giveaway, by the way, for the Sulem. The harmony and the Oculus.
I mean, have you look at this? I mean, 140.
The harmony's nice.
$150 for all of
Yeah.
the paints. Whereas cumulatively, I mean, if you want them, you're
Spectre said the
saving
harmony paint is
64.
beautiful.
So
Which
Right,
one's the harmony
let's
paint?
have a look.
The purple
Right, so
and
there's this
blue.
that is a beautiful paint. They're both new because they're new for this.
What do these
particular
aliens
ship.
smoke? Like, honest to God, like what is
Ah,
what's going on?
there's
Dude, I love it. I do like it a lot. The Santok Yai is probably one of the most beautiful alien ships as well. It got slept on earlier because I don't think it's actually. I would never own one, but it looks so nice.
I have one.
My
it's only good
my
for
boy
PvE.
just heard about you talking about. My boy just heard you talking about alien stuff. And decided to have a poop. So I will be back.
Sure, it's not the Drake cap. The Drake cap
Enjoy.
probably was the real instigation there.
Yeah. There is a lot of talk about Drake in chat right now.
Well,
We'll hold
so I'm gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say because when CJ's back, I genuinely need to be updated about the Ironclad because of my hiatus. I really don't know anything about that ship, essentially nothing other than the what it looks like. So I need to be filled in, let alone the chat. So it'd be good to have a catch up with the Ironclad, because it looks amazing, looks incredible.
Well,
Such
yeah.
a caterpillar, isn't it?
The
Right.
Q&A did come out for it 2 days ago now. So
Yes.
catch
Yeah.
up
Have
on
you
that.
watched it? Listen,
It's
is
just
I
it
haven't actually
text
watched
or-
it yet.
it's not video. It's just
it's a
written.
post.
Just a rent post.
We could go through that post, and that'd be interesting.
But the lovely board gamer did a thorough piece on it. Went through everything, all the points on there. Sounds
nice.
good. I know that I was eyeing up for nefarious purposes, but I think it might actually be a bit smaller than what I was thinking it was going to be.
Got over 1,000 SCU though.
Oh yeah, your transport and stuff.
It's-
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And that's
that's the whole point of it.
internalized as well.
Yeah, it's a really cool ship. I think it's a bit too big for. I always opt to try and get solo cargo ships for myself, just because they're the ships that I'm probably going to spend the time on doing cargo runs.
Yeah.
But I love the Ironclad. I'm so glad that so many of us in our like friendship group and community have it, because I want to be on one and serve on one, but it's a bit too big for me to own personally, because I feel like I'm going to probably jump on for like an hour at a time and do cargo runs, and that's the kind of thing you might do solo if you're not doing like a full gaming session with your pals. So
Yeah.
for me, like the Raylan's kind of perfect for that. Or even like the Zeus CL, for example. But yeah, I mean, it's such a cool looking ship, and we should definitely go through that Q&A when CJ's back.
I know.
I mean, we could
And
wind
whilst
him
we're
up.
talking about,
We could just, when he gets back, say, right, and that's the end of the Drake session.
yeah, we absolutely should do
He'd
that.
be absolutely
I
dismayed.
tell you what though, I'm not a Drake fan, but even when that ship dropped, I was like, God, John Crew and his team, they're just absolutely nailing the ships now. Like
Yeah.
they even mentioned that the Zeus is like I think Chris Roberts said it to John like directly, like this is the next level and sort of like of the
Mm,
ships that they're making. Their standard has got that good now, which is really dangerous for our wallets. And yeah,
yeah,
it's
I'm kind
not
of
good.
gutted that I don't think I've got a buyback to the Clipper, and I'm really gutted about that.
Yeah, same. That was the one. But the reason why I didn't pick one of them up, it was the same price as the Max. If they made it $5 more than the Max, I would
Hmm.
have pulled the trigger.
Yep, yep. I
And
need to get a
that's saying
CCU.
a lot.
Yeah, it's a nice ship, and I definitely need to get a CCU back to the Zeus CL, because that's the one I would go for if it was
Yeah.
if I was going to pick a Zeus up, definitely.
Clipper and MR for me. Like I would want to pick the science and exploration one up, but I already have the Karak, and that was my first purchase, like my
Mm,
first big multi cruise ship purchase. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was the Freelancer Max. But like when you go north of 300 on a purchase, that's like significant. So it's like, yeah, that was the original concept sale for the Karak as well. So can't
mm,
lose that one.
So I've got to admit, I'm really glad CJ's not here right now because every time I've brought this up, he gets fired up. So I've got the Spirit triple pack, and I've obviously got the Zeus's, but individually. And he's like, "No, you need to melt that," and I'm like, "No, I love the C1, I love the A1, like I like them. Leave me alone." Plus the E1,
Yeah.
and the only crossover is that CL. So that CL for me is getting sold. There's no point having two ships that are essentially the same size do the same thing. That's going to get sold at some point. And they'll carry on with the MR and potentially the ES to at least test them and see what I think of them first. But yeah, he's adamant that the Zeus is better in all areas, and I think sometimes it just comes down to personal taste. And I think Spectre
I
in
mean,
chat, C1's one of his favorite craft, and it just looks
mm,
so sexy in photos.
it does, but it's also speed cannot be like you could have as much armor as you'd like on a ship. If you're slower than the enemy and get overwhelmed, it's not going to help you. But if you're
mm,
quick, and the C1, I think, from what it looks like, is going to be one of the fastest like freight vessels its size. You know, going through blockades, getting through really dangerous parts of space, you want speed and sort of stealth on your side more than
mm.
weapons or anything else. So that's why I would keep that. But I would also have the Zeus Clipper because someday you just want to go around and go, well, I need the cargo space and I
Mm.
need the speed for this. So it's nice to have the variety.
Yeah, agreed. I love the idea of the MR. Um, I kind of feel like I need to see Bounty Hunting 2.0 and what other ships they bring into that alignment, because I feel like there's loads of ships that could really do with an update to bring them back into a the bounty hunting space, like the Titans, the Cutlass, sorry, and like the Sentinel. I feel like the Sentinel would be, or any of the Vanguard would be that back area would be a perfect place to put like cryo chambers. So I want to see what they do with Bounty Hunting 2.0 and before I decide, because the MR could be the ultimate bounty hunting ship, but it depends what they do with the current ships that were kind of designed for bounty hunting.
Yeah.
So I just need to see that first. But the Clipper is like through and through an incredible ship, and so is the C1. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. I think they're both brilliant, and I would happily own both of them. So I'm just waiting to see sort of what happens when the Zeus is released, because I think they are going to be like the most advanced and furthest along in development, as Chris was saying,
Yeah.
ships. So I'm just so excited to see what that is, the new standard, and I'm just hoping they bring everything up to that standard as soon as possible. Definitely. So
255 ships or something like that. I think that was the count, or like where I'm just taking it from the top of my head, but I
yeah.
remember seeing all those silhouettes and all those little like icons of all those ships, and I was thinking, oh, like
How many of those are variants though? Because once you do a gold standard for one variant, it's pretty much gold standard for all the variants, unless they are completely different. But most of them, they're
that's
not
true.
too like the cutter.
Yeah,
Realistically, the interior with a gold standard, you're probably not going to see too much of a change on the interior. So
yeah,
it's just going to be certain systems and certain things that get polished up and maybe certain buttons that get fixed, and that'll probably be universal across all of the variants. So
Yep.
probably won't be as bad as 255, but yeah, it's going to take a long time. Like,
Yep.
it's, I'd like to say we might have like 50 gold standard ships when 1.0 drops, and they'll still be catching up with the gold standard whilst also trying to catch up with the backlog. And I
Yep.
think the latest SCL, if I'm being brutally honest, made me quite concerned because I don't think I really had a full understanding of how long it's going to take them to get the rest of the backlog done. But I think we've got at least 5 more years minimum of backlog dev to catch up with what's out there. Looking at how long it's taken them to build ships, like the Polaris has taken years.
Yep.
And there's ships that are a lot bigger than that haven't even started dev. And if that's taken an entire team years to finish, and they're only doing maybe 6 or 7 ships around that, we let's say we get 10 ships a year. Let's say that's like the ballpark figure. Well, then we
Well,
are like
it's not even
25 years away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I mean, you're totally right because like what they said, like when you have a big ship like the Polaris that's getting worked on, it like the Polaris takes the place of 5 other ships. So like you'll see like they've got to work on a new ship, update 2 old ships, and then bring out Polaris. That's I think when Squadron 42 drops, I'm hoping that they use some of the money for that to sort of expand the ship team, because whether we like it or not, people say don't make any more ships, but that's the one thing keeping this game going.
Yeah.
And there is a huge backlog, and if they can really expand upon that team, that just means more ships, means more money for the game, means more stuff, means the game gets actually done faster, hopefully.
They also have to balance like chapter 2 of Squadron though, because I think that will start being developed before we know it. Like Squadron 42 will drop, and they'll already be starting to ramp up for like chapter 2 or like episode 2 of the Squadron. So I think that's going to then pull resources away as well. So there's going to be Squadron will drop, I think, at the end of this year, or at least we'll get the trailer and an announcement for maybe next March, let's say, for
I
argument's sake.
cannot wait.
Which
Oh my God.
me too, cannot wait. And then
13 years or something.
I honestly so excited. But then I think we'll have a ramp up in Star Citizen until 1.0 comes out, which will probably be like the following year of whenever Squadron drops. And then once 1.0 comes out, you might see Chapter 2 starting to get developed. So then
Yep.
things will slow down again. So we're probably at 5 to 10 years before we get all the current outstanding backlog into the game, ship-wise.
Yeah.
And then you've got all the new concept ships they're going to sell between then to keep the funding up. So it is concerning. It's concerning to say the least, but at the same time, exciting. As long as they get what they've currently sold into the game in the next 5 years, then at least the new ships will be like that new DLC and new things coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to see that backlog crunched and released as soon as humanly possible, because if they don't get that done quick, like we're looking at like 10 plus years until some people get their ship that they paid for now.
Yeah.
In a game that's technically released at that point. So it's a problem, and it really made me not depressed, but a little bit like just a little bit sad when they were talking about it on SDL, and I realized just how long it's going to take them. And I'm not blaming them. Like, I completely understand how long it takes to do this kind of work, but God,
And it's not just a
something
local
needs to
team
change.
either. This
No.
team is multiple teams stretched over all studios. Like or I think, or just at least like Austin and Manchester. I think LA's got some guys there. Montreal has now, and I'm not sure about Frankfurt. I think Frankfurt's more planetary tech. You'll have to like let me know if I'm wrong there. But oh man, like when I see backers or people that don't really understand the game on Facebook going like, I'm not going to buy another ship until we get the game, it just shows how much I can understand their frustration, but it just shows how much they don't understand what's actually going on. And by saying that, you know, you if that were to really happen, you probably wouldn't get the ship that you paid for anyway, because if it's like the Endeavor, which some of us have got, that's going to be one of the last ones that come through. And yeah, just got to keep the
Scam
game going.
Citizen.
which brings me on to one question on Ask, and then I'll shut up because I feel like I've been talking way too much.
No,
The
yeah.
one question I really want to ask is, do you then think that they will turn the game into a subscription-based online service similar to like World of Warcraft, where you pay monthly? I think I've asked this before on the pod, but I think it's something that could very well happen, and I don't think I would hate it. I would almost rather them do that than do the ship sales. Just have a stable income.
If they kept it
Can
as
I
it
take
is
that?
now, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay, so essentially there is a subscription already. So what I think,
But
I
to
don't
play the
think
game, I mean.
I don't think they would wall it behind a subscription. Obviously, if their financial situation went dire and they needed to keep the game going, they would approach everyone and go, look, we need to do this, otherwise we need to walk away. And I think at that point, I'm not saying, I think it's highly unlikely. I think what would happen is when the game sort of becomes more fleshed out, we'll start seeing the current subscription as it is. That will change, and it will be less focus on the development and more focus on maybe in-game events and content that's being generated. And those subscriptions will pay for access to those events potentially. Like you see a lot of games doing, like what was it, Helldivers? You could pay for a specific load of gear that you could level through. You know, they've got to keep their designers and developers at work. So developing new items that you go, right, if you purchase this, what do they call it? Like a care package or something, or like this month's war bond pack or something. Like you pay for that, you get to keep your staff, and you get to deliver new content at the same time. I think they'll just keep the existing subscription and just change it. I don't think they'll make it compulsory to play the game, especially for people that've backed, like got to concierge level. They might become exempt from that. I think that would be a nice nod to go, thanks for supporting us. This isn't on you. This is for new people that come and join.
Cool.
So on the flip side of that, I think the game will not survive long term if they don't do a subscription service.
I agree.
So we know the funding from the game at the minute comes from purchasing ships, which I believe will stop when the game is fully released. But then also, I think when people, so when they sell Star Engine, that's going to be the massive subsidy towards the game's financial side, like financial part of it. So when Star Engine is sold to companies, I think that could reduce the cost that it costs them to run the PU. Obviously, you've got to think of the game as separate, so it's just the PU, because Squadron's going to fund Squadron once that's released, hopefully. I think a subscription-based service is the best way of doing it, because that subscription could already be $5 a month, for example, and you can start without even owning a ship. So short term, that makes a little bit more money. Yeah, actually, it's cheaper if you want to trial it. You can trial it for a $5, if you're going away, whatever, you can stop it. But I think it will definitely go to a subscription-based service, with the exception of being free for concierge, because in as part of being concierge, we have we have Game Pass access. So they can't stop us playing it as concierge players. Like, they cannot do that. And for anyone that's concierge before 2022, no, or 2020, they have free permanent access to Squadron as well. So what I think they will do is, within the next couple of years, stop free access to the game in concierge, and then eventually phase in a subscriber thing. But I don't think subscribers too terrible, provided they continue with flair and items and stuff to make it worthwhile. But just bear in mind how big the game is going to be, and how like far it's going to be. It's going to be the best, and I'm biased. It's going to be the best game out there and ever will be out there. So paying a subscription fee of $5, $10, man, like $20 a month, I'm not that bothered.
For the servers alone, it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and especially how big the game's going to be with server mission. If a certain org turns up and drops like 300 people into one very small location, they're going to have to ramp up a ton of servers just to keep that area alive.
Yeah,
So
and
I will
servers are
pay for that.
expensive. They're
Exactly.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't mind paying for that.
So you guys are pretty much on board with the same theory, but what I want to know from you both is what do they do with the current subscription? And that all the money from that goes to the current video content that they make. What happens to that that content? Because if the money for the new subscription is for servers and in-game stuff, what happens to the video content and where does that money come from? Or do they combine it all into one subscription that's more expensive than the current one that we have?
Does the video content come from like CIG, or is it like persistent universe video content? I don't know because I don't care. I don't watch
So
it. Um,
current stuff. Well, you do. You watch Inside Star Citizen.
yeah,
You
I
watch all
watch
the
it, but
stuff.
if it disappeared, I'm not bothered. But like if it's CIG related stuff, like this trailering for the new Squadron thing, that should all come from the company with regards to sales of like Star Engine. That's how CIG is going to be kept afloat, is Star Engine, because they are going to do a
Yeah.
subscription towards that, which is single-handedly probably going to keep CIG above the water. So any money raised towards the PU, i.e., a subscription service, should go to the PU, in my opinion. But I don't know. I'm not a business major, so
I think you'll see video content slow right down when the game releases. I think a massive bulk of what CIG put out on YouTube and stuff is, and even their Twitch streams, is like following the development of the game.
Yeah.
So when the game's out and a lot of the systems are out, and it's more keeping the keeping the fire burning opposed to putting more logs on it, so to speak, and actually doing active development. The teams will get smaller. The amount of things to talk about and show off will get smaller because it will go just to normal like monthly updates or weekly updates or whatever. So I think the video content in general will eventually slow down outside of like new ship trailers and lore-based stuff that we'll actually hopefully see in the game on our screens. Like if we're walking around, they'll actually the trailers be playing, or we're sitting in the back of the E1, the Spirit, and you've got the screens and you're watching TV. Outside of that kind of stuff, I think the Inside Star Citizens, that entire side of the business will really shrink because I just don't think there'll be anything to really talk about, and b any need for them to keep posting that. I think it's a very unique position right now where it is crowdfunded. They need to stay active with the community. There's so much to talk about and show off. It's this big active project. So in a few years, I think that will shrink. So I think the subscription service that will continue, probably it might get a bit more expensive, but probably not. I just think that will be engulfed by other things. I don't think the video content will require a full team. So yeah, I think it will just sort of balance out.
Oh,
No, we're still here.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. I'm just because my stream at the moment is absolutely pixelated and destroyed. I'm watching the previous one, so I'm still seeing you talk.
Sorry.
And you just just after it's like,
Just
oh my
stop
god,
dead.
yeah.
Skill issue.
So I've got both up now.
Okay, so
I
we still
just
have
don't know
so
what-
much to talk about, including
Yeah, sorry, go
the,
Oh, wow.
the next update with cargo.
Well, you
That's delayed.
hold on. You didn't even add into that. You're not just a speaker here. We care about your opinion too. Subscription. What's going on?
he's just happy to give him money. So
I do just hope they go right. Concierge, you've paid, yeah, on you go. But if they did keep
Yeah,
the
but
current
video
subscription,
content.
what do you mean video?
Am I the only one here that enjoys Thursdays because
Oh,
of
you mean-
Inside Star Citizen?
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. But we're talking about like down the line on release. Like Inside Star
Okay.
Citizen will just stop, I think, or at least go to like monthly because there just won't be a lot to do.
You've got to remember it.
I don't think it'll stop. It will evolve into something else because it always
Yeah,
has done.
yeah,
It's like Wingman's Hangar,
Mm.
around the verse, Inside Star
No,
Citizen,
I know.
to whatever it's going to be.
I know
next.
what I would like. Right, so yes, it will carry on to a certain degree, but you got to remember it's an expose into the world of creation of video games. Jared literally says it at the end of every episode. Esports. I want to see large coverage of huge fleet battles and commentation and breakdown of people's skills, and yeah, that's kind of where I want to see.
Can we have like the flip side of that? You know, like the BBC has Country File. Like, can we just watch like some chilled out Doom with the
Wait.
space cows on Micro 10?
Yeah, but that would
Like, that would
be
be awesome.
that'll be Scooter
That would-
on
that-
here on Damer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damer, Damer, this is.
I need to
this
get in
is
touch with that
Bessie.
guy.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah, we've got
I-
cargo,
Yeah. Okay.
and obviously
Cool.
Xenothreat is about to release.
Pass on Xenothreat.
Gonna pass. But you miss out on the
Couldn't care
armor.
less about that event.
Yeah, but you care about the
I'll
armor.
play it.
So you
Oh
would do
yeah,
Xenothreat
but the event is dog water.
at the moment.
It's a good event, but yeah, the servers cannot handle the event. So therefore, playing the event is so woeful unless you're very lucky to get a decent server that it's almost just like, what's the point? So I love the idea of it. I think we need better servers. So for me, it's like I'll swerve on Xeno. I'm waiting for Blockade Runner, which is that new game mode they showed off like almost a year ago now, I want to say, or like 6 months ago, which looks incredible, but we haven't seen it.
Yeah, that one I
But-
can't wait. C1's gonna be great for that.
Yep, absolutely. When that hits, I play it absolutely. But Xenothreat for me, I've played it three times, and it has been woeful every time with like desync and lag and just frame drops. And I'm like, "Do you know what? I'll just see how it goes, and I probably won't play it other than the armor, to be honest.
I'm excited for Xenothreat on this one purely for the new EVA. I think because I enjoyed like searching all for cargo. I enjoyed also like dogfighting. Like I enjoyed all of it. But the new EVA is gonna really make this event feel like a new one, and also the fact that you can board the Idris on this time.
True.
That's gonna be awesome.
True.
So, throwing a little salt in the fire. You've got the Xenothreat mission that's happening. Say for instance, everyone takes the approach of GFAs. I'm not really bothered. Not going to play it. So Xenothreat would win. But this is a linear mission. The Xenothreat are designed. They're going to fail no matter what. Would you like to see more of a Sea of Thieves approach or a Helldivers approach where what happened, the outcome is affected by the player's input into the game?
I'm just gonna say, you'll see of Thieves is my Star Wars Galaxies by this
Yeah.
point.
I mean,
Well,
look,
that
seeing
is
a pattern
Blockade
here.
Runner.
Pirate
That's
Legend.
Blockade Runner though. I love Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, it's class. Leave me
I
alone.
think,
That is
I think we'll
Blockade Runner
get.
there.
Leave me alone.
I think we will get a Helldivers style, like when the grand scheme of it, we are gonna start losing systems to like the Vandal, and there's
Yes.
going to be fighting back to take certain systems back. So all
Yeah.
like the low sec areas, you can imagine Pyro is going to be easy to take by the Vandal, and we've got to fight to get it back through it. I think that's definitely something that's going to happen. But we
yeah.
need more than one system or two systems. We need like 10 to make it viable.
Yeah,
But-
agreed.
That Vandal Swarm, man, that needs to be like the hardest bloody thing. Like players, both like Pirate and UEE, just need to band together for it. And like if they don't, if like one person decides I'm just gonna help the Vandal here, they get killed, and also because they screwed everything up, everyone else gets killed. Like I want it to be like so, like honestly, like the moment they're in the system next to you, you've got to get your stuff and go. Otherwise, it's like a wildfire in California or something like that. Just go straight through.
But that sort of dynamic event is going to key into that sort of thing that they want, where you're going to have individual players that become heroes, that become legends in game. That'd be
Yeah.
brilliant. This
Aw,
this is the
yeah.
player that held the fort and turned the tide
Yeah.
against Vandal. I mean, we have war stories as it is. We have Fijians that are just manning like machine gun nests and mowing everyone down on their own before they pull people back, like 2 or 3 on their shoulders, and just leg it. Like, yeah, wear a medal on their chest. And it needs to be like that in game, and it needs to have that sort of effect. And I really hope Elliot Maltby is watching this. He's like, God's sake, I'm gonna have to do a lot of coding for this. But
Yeah.
you know,
Well, Blockade Runner is dynamic, right? Like from what they've discussed and what they showed, or what they spoke about in that ISC, Blockade Runner is dynamic in the way that there's like segments and parts to the mission, and one part unlocks the next, which unlocks the next in regards to it's like space combat. Then you have to board the station and take that back, and then you have to get cargo from that and get it off and take. So there's going to be different people in different ships for different roles, and like if you lose, then the station's taken over. So I think that will be the first look into like a dynamic event. And with like distribution centers, that could absolutely happen. With and with 4.0 and Pyro, we're going to see dynamic stuff where certain stations are taken over by certain gangs and factions, and the whole reputation system that comes with that too. So I think we are very much so hurtling towards that dynamic mission and things that are constantly changing and evolving, as you say. I think it will be sooner than you think. I think we will get that this year, but yeah, for the time being, I agree. I think Xenothreat needs that level of depth before it can, this team took the Xenothreat Idris, that kind of thing. But yeah, I agree. It's getting there, right? It's getting there, but
Server meshing 4.0,
yeah,
missions 4.0.
yeah. Yeah. Do you think, and I think this, if you don't mind, Pete, this is a perfect segue into the other thing we wanted to talk about, which is the current patch, the cargo delays in 4.0. Do you think we're still on track for 4.0 coming this year?
If you'd have asked me this morning, I'd been like, yeah, it'd be fine, don't worry about it. But then someone has raised the point that this mission alone has caused week upon week of delay to it then being postponed and then still delayed and still issues like memory issues and stuff. Now, hopefully this is something when server meshing is fully implemented, it just won't become a thing, because you say, well, we just wear up another server to deal with that particular part of the game. So it's that fluid environment. Servers wearing up, wearing down, and just sort of swapping between themselves. So you won't see anything sat in the seat. You just have this really immersive gameplay experience, which is what we all want, which is why we've all invested our time and money in this game. And we'll continue to, and we will continue to grab our neighbours and our friends and saying, have you seen this game? You need to buy a computer, you need to get Toby eye tracking, you need to get Verpools, you need to get Game Glass, and just enjoy yourself.
But that wasn't his question though. His question was, is 4.0 coming this year?
Right, so yeah,
You
segue.
started by saying it. Sorry, that's
So-
only
To our
one
sponsors.
He
thing
segued
from
on the
last
segue.
topic.
The segue to the sponsors. Is it going to come this year? They're going to have something out. They're going to have to something out.
Well, what's going on with cargo? What's going on with that?
I think it's going to be Evo Carty at the end of the year, but I don't think he'll be live.
I think the reason why this mission is causing so many issues is because, and one of the developers did say it, they are actively working on 4.0. If we had all hands on deck, this mission would have been out very quickly. But I think that they're prioritizing 4.0 because, like you said, server meshing is just going to make a lot of issues we have obsolete. So, and rightly so, they should be focusing on it. I think we're still on track for like a sitcom 4.0 or something like that.
Oh my God.
I think the reason why it's so arse at the minute is because they have 99% of the developers working on 4.0 and the odd percentage of people trying to get content out just to keep people interested.
Yeah,
I think everything's already fixed. I think literally all of the stuff we're worrying about is already like fixed on their side in 4.0. There isn't any issues and stuff like that. I am trying to be as ambitious as possible. But I genuinely believe that's the best business plan that they're making.
Yep.
I think they have the entirety of CIG working on 4.0 with Skeleton Crew just trying to keep the game afloat.
Is cargo even on Evo though? Yeah.
No.
So like, I don't know, mate. Like, I don't know.
Tell us, is cargo on Evo?
Not that no, it's not. So like, it's what's going on? Like what is going on? Like I get it. Like I'm not angry at CIG. I never complain about things from a place of anger because I fully get how much work goes into this, and they're never going to delay things on purpose, and they're not stupid. So I get that they're probably having challenges that they're working through, and it's just we have to be patient. But it's just concerning when something that seems like it's not a huge change. I know the whole cargo cruise is and freight elevators is a big addition to the game, but it's not as big as new star systems and the new quantums and the server meshing. So if this is causing the delays, then I don't see 4.0 coming at CitizenCon myself.
I think inventory is quite a huge change because we've always known like pressing I, your inventory will come up. With this patch, I think they mentioned that's going away. So the whole way we do things is going to change. Like,
It's a big change,
yeah.
but like technically speaking, in regards to like the challenges they would come across, that shouldn't be difficult to implement if it's an inventory system
Well,
compared to something like server meshing, if that makes sense.
it
In my
does make
opinion.
sense. Yeah, no, sure. I just think inventory is a system that spans across so many other systems, and that's
True.
why it's taking long.
Yeah. Very, very, very good point.
It's
yeah.
it's fed into everything. It's fed into can't remember what it's currently called, but like knickknacks. The inventory system's in that. The inventory system is in the way everything loops. And what they're going to want to do is when they're implementing this stuff as well, they're going to want to get rid of all the legacy code. So there's a lot of code they've got to try and splice bits out and still make work. And it does change a lot. Everything's physicalized now. There's a database for things that aren't physicalized at the time, but everything is going to be physicalized. So they're going to have to replace the stores and how the stores operate and bits like that. I think it's large, and it's going to be one of the biggest changes we've had in the game for a very, very long time. Even more so than that new casual fly mechanic they implemented. This is going to be a lot more interesting.
I mean,
hands down.
maybe OneDark and GFA, maybe you guys are right. Maybe it's not actually like cargo that is holding everything up. Maybe it is just this event and that blocker that they have for it. And there's only one guy that's doing the missions. You know, there's
No, there's a
we
team
know
doing the
his name
missions.
all too well. No, there is just one guy responsible for it. You know who he is because we met him at Beak.
We've already spoke about him, but I personally know another one who works for him.
No, I'm just saying, like, he's got to get on and get this done fast. He's got to get it done.
Yeah,
Come on,
for
Elliot.
sure.
Come
I think
on, man.
for me, I feel like, and correct me if you don't agree, but I think it's priority. I think it's priorities. Like in the nicest possible way. Who really cares about Xenothreat? If and I'm not saying it is, if that's delaying like the cargo update and other things being pushed through, who really cares about event? I wouldn't care if they just stopped Jumptown, Xeno, and all that for like a few weeks. I know they need it for data and testing and stuff.
To fast track it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that. I think it's a smart way to do your testing and to get good data. But if that's not why they're doing it, let's say,
Yeah.
stop. Like, we don't need those events. I know ones that are tied to like Alien Week and
Yeah.
Invictus that are tied to ship sales are important for financial reasons.
Yeah.
But things like Xenothreat, if it's not critical and it's not important, bin it off. No one will care. People would rather have the big updates done and the teams working on that now than delaying things for something that realistically is quite trivial. So that's just how I feel about it. But I it's hard because I'm sure in all of their meetings this has been spoken about, and they're more intelligent than me, so and they know a lot more than me what's going on behind the scenes. So I'm sure there's a reason for everything they're doing. But yeah, I hope their priorities are in line with what's getting things out in a good timeline, and because realistically, if Xenothreat disappeared, I don't think anyone would care. So it's hard. It's hard.
I think one thing you got to add into that though is removing all of the events like Jumptown and Xeno, but the amount of money they've raised because of these events. Obviously, every time they do Jumptown, they're selling the A2, the A1, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
If they didn't have any events on, for example, for like 6 months to a year, the game there wouldn't be that many people playing it. And I think the argument of data, they're doing it for data, is true to a little extent, but I think at the minute they're just trying to keep people engaged. Because how many times have they run Jumptown? What data do they need?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
from Jumptown, they do it every few weeks. Well, probably not
Yeah.
that
but I hate to
often,
say, their game, the player base is already completely disinterested at the moment. Like, there's been a huge drop in players since Invictus and since 323.1 because everyone's kind of waiting for the cargo careers and that whole update and potential wipes to reputation and all of that stuff and freight elevators. People know it's on the cusp, so they're just waiting for it.
They're
Because why
patch
would you grind
jumping.
stuff out? Yeah.
They're literally just waiting for the new patch, try it for
Yeah.
the first few weeks, then they'll hop off and do
Yeah.
something else until it comes. And that is the biggest reason like for that is that the economy's not there or anything like that, so there is no real sort of like end game. But like unless you want to really perfect and get better at ship to ship combat, or tell you what has been really helpful, I think, and what doesn't, it goes completely unsaid a lot of the time, the work that has gone into Arena Commander, like that is so good. Like a group of us were doing like elimination and all that sort of stuff, and the FPS stuff is fantastic, the ship to ship stuff's fantastic, and it can work for old players and new. You can get new players, put them into pirates form, and they're having the best combat time of their lives. It's so good, and there's just not a lot of people talking about it. So
Have any of you done the? Sorry, this is a complete tangent that will go on for 2 seconds.
go for it.
Anyone done engineering gameplay yet, or tried out the engineering in?
We did it as a
Tried
team.
it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Everyone
Got
was
bored.
everyone was spawning on the same C2, and obviously you get spawned with P4. So like no one was actually doing the engineering gameplay. It turned into boarding gameplay.
Okay.
It's T0 engineering in the Arena Commander is just boring.
Okay.
There's no reason to want to play it other than to test it, and people don't go on there to test it. Like enemies are spawning on the same C2 and stuff like that, and you can spawn in front of each other and just shoot each other like it's carnage, it's chaos.
Yeah, but that was the first time that was like a really smooth internal ship fight that I've seen, especially with the new EVA. Like we have 4 guys at the back of the C2 and then 4 guys at the bridge, and like trying to like go through and get each other. It was really fun gameplay. And then when we all ran out of ammunition, we were just like, oh, should we do the engineering gameplay? And we all did. We all started like going around trying to find fuses, put them in place. You know, the fact that you can get that much gameplay out of one ship for 8 people is really positive. I think it's just a testament to where this game's going. Things, if you look at like Eve Online and what's the other one that you have Elite Dangerous. You got ships that, do they even have interiors yet? What's going on with that? Like,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
oh, nice one. Okay,
Do
I
you
stand
know
corrected.
what's kind of funny is we never talk about Starfield on this at all. Just doesn't compare, does it? It's
And we
just,
don't need to.
No,
What's the next
exactly.
topic?
So, right, Invictus.
No.
Right, obviously we saw Medical Ursa, and we've had the Argo Tractor, which we've spotted in the video just sneakily.
Got one of those medical Ursas, by the way.
Oh, of course.
Call it by its correct name.
Nursa.
Nursa. Yeah. Not sure how I feel about it though. I agree with it.
What, the
needs to.
Nursa?
Yeah, right. Check this out. Right, from a ship point of view, like, so I had the Carrack, and one of the biggest points for the Carrack for me was the fact I had an onboard medical facility that wasn't the 890 jump. Versatile, bit wary, had cargo, had space for a vehicle. Now I can have that in any ship I can fit the Ursa in.
Yeah, but they're different. They're different tier beds, so that down the line it'll be much different. It's not going to be the case of like, oh, I've got a Cutlass Red, I don't need a Carrack anymore. It's not going to be like that.
No, but let's be honest. The medical changes they made to make sure the Nursa sale went well was absolute dog. Like, let's not beat around the bush. That was a self-censorship. I knew what I was about to say. It's fucking ridiculous.
I was really impressed with that self-censorship. That just blew me out of the water.
Usually I get the wrong timing and I really like fuck it up. So, no, like in all seriousness, the medical changes were awful. I hate the idea of like being able to respawn anywhere. I think it's completely immersive breaking. I love the idea of the Nursa and having like a mobile respawn point from like an arcadey gameplay point of view to be able to respawn. But the whole point of dying being scary outside of Death of a Starman or Spaceman or whatever, you know. You shouldn't be able to just have like a respawn point that you park inside of a distribution center for people to just keep running in and in and in. Like, at least a Carrack is so big that you would have to land it a distance away. So if the respawns are there, it's a bit more punishing. So yeah, I don't know. I love the Nursa because of what it does offer to the game, but I don't agree with the medical changes whatsoever personally.
So
yeah, that's fair.
Here's an idea for you. One bed, one person to respawn. So if you've got, let's say, like a Kite Red, you've got 2 beds, 2 people can respawn. I would like it to be where if you run into a bunker unprepared, you get gunned down, you're dead, right? But Death of the Spaceman, yeah. So you're gonna lose everything, whatever. You called up us. Someone's, oh, I need someone to jump on. I'm at home. I come and pick up your body and take it to your nurser and revive you. Or if you don't have that, I can take like a conscience chip from you to retain what you would lose through Death of the Spaceman, and then you can get essentially injected into a new body. That means that medical is no longer crap, as in the physical medical side of it, not just taking you back to a ship, but also it brings more inclusive gameplay into it. It means that you're gonna call out to your mates, you're gonna go in better prepared, and if you don't, then you need to beg, borrow, and steal someone to come and help you. You could get grief.
Yeah,
you could get
I
ransoms.
There has to be limitations. Like I think there has to be a respawn limit, regardless of the bed and stuff. Even if it's like you have to restock medical supplies on the ship that you're respawning at. So every time someone respawns, it uses up a certain medical supply or whatever they want to coin it. So eventually the respawns run out and you can no longer respawn there. I think that's important. Having it as a permanent respawn point, at least until we get Death of a Spaceman. That needs to be an absolute no. It's because otherwise, like, you would never have a medical beacon. You're always backspace. It's no punishment. You can walk and get your gear that you've just died 20 meters away inside of a distribution center. Jump Town becomes an absolute mess of just constant respawning and stuff. And you'll kill a person, they'll be back in 5 minutes with all their gear if they've kept a medical Ursa tucked away with stuff. It's rubbish.
Unless they get glassed.
Yeah, or Clash is the way it is right now, which is awful, and there's no oxygen, so you can't go mining, and also you don't get the mining mission, like so you suffocate before you can get anywhere, so you just have to log off. So that's a disaster. But yeah, in terms of like the spawning thing, totally agree. Like, it's gonna be difficult though, because this game is going to be big. There's going to be wide distances that will split people off, and you're going to have to get used to meeting strangers in the verse and like helping them out, which not a lot of people do. A lot of people just like to screw people over. But when it comes down to it, with the medical gameplay that we have currently, it it isn't really there yet at all. Like,
No.
to do anything, and then it needs that kind of science and exploration gameplay, which I can't wait to see, because we need research to then start doing things like, I'm going to develop this serum that goes into the med bed that heals people. Like that would be really cool.
Yeah, and I think that you have to want to do a medical beacon and want someone to come and rescue you, like a team of medics in their ambulance
Incentive.
ships, the Apollo, for example, or the triage and the Apollo medevac. Like, you want to have that reason to be like, I don't want to respawn, even though I could. I want to be revived, and I want to wait for that revival to come through and the team to come and get me. That has to be the choosing to backspace or to respawn should be so punishing. And I know Death of a Spaceman will achieve that to an extent, but even now, I think like the whole respawning system, it has to be punishing. Even if there was a fee, like respawn on your medical Ursa for however much UEC. I know they shouldn't do that because they're selling the ship, and that's part of why you buy the ship with your real money. But there has to be something. There has to be something, because otherwise medical gameplay is in the toilet.
I admire the idea behind it, and I do want to see that kind of gameplay style. But for me, when I think about it from a business perspective for a game, having, like, we've seen how effective medical beacons are now. People just don't go. Like, they do not go to pick you up. I had like a couple of people come collect me. There's some instances where you clip through and you can't be saved. Like, you know, that how are they going to get around that? That's something that I really would like to know. How are they going to keep people engaged where their player is out in the middle of nowhere and they have to wait like 2 days maybe for someone to actually be able to rescue them? Um, like, you need to keep that player engagement, or else the community just drops off and the game will fail. So, like, what are they going to do?
I think Death of Spaceman it was very early concept of an idea, so it should be open to tweaking a bit. because it's such an idea that was released so long ago that things would have changed. But a little concept potentially is if there's no comma ray, you full die, regardless. There's no respawning back at a med bed in any regard. You full die back to a station. You do your inheritance. Obviously, do you know when you regenerate, it's supposed to be the next in line in your bloodline kind of thing. That you should then have all your stats, all your reputation wiped, and then take a large percentage fee off of your money that you have and reset everything. I think that would be okay if you have access to a com array and you have a med bed set up for regeneration. I think you can do the whole um, degraded clones thing. You can come back, but like say for example, it gives you the same stats effect as having a tier 3 head injury. Like you've got issues with like your clone. I think that would be okay. And then you've got to go back to a station to like fully like completely not station, a city to fully heal yourself. But I think having like com arrays shut down and you die would just fully destroy you completely. And end of the day, they've already said that this game is supposed to be a crew-based game. It's not going to be easy to play solo, so you should always have friends online or org members online to come and rescue you.
Or even AI ambulances.
Well, Twitchy just dropped that in chat. He's,
Yeah.
he's saying that after a while it times out and AI come and pick you up.
Perfect.
Like, one of the things I want to see is like you'll be seeing UEE or whatever area you're in. You'll be seeing like battle groups or like stuff flying about. It would be great if just like a UEE character would just come around. You get a little team of Marines pop out, extract you and save you, and go, all right, you've just cost us this amount. You need to pay it. In the United States, I think someone mentioned it cost them $8,000 to get an ambulance. That's the sort of thing we're going to
yeah.
get in Star Citizen.
It should be Americanized. It should be like it should just completely bankrupt you if you actually injure yourself and get rescued by AI.
Hold
Unless you have medical insurance.
thought. This could be quite an interesting one, and I really hope Elliot gets to see this because he's been off guy with his ideas. Okay, so reputation based
This army esports guy.
Yeah. Oh, that army guy. Like, yeah. Right. So
Yeah.
reputation's coming in. You go into the Nine Tails bunker. You're blasting away. They down you. You're not dead. They take you hostage because you have got rep with someone else, and they're like, right, we're going to ransom. We're going to do this. Whatever. A mission is then raised through the contracts manager for a squad to come and rescue you, but you're being like defended by heavies. So people need to band together and say, right, we're going to rescue this guy. Enough money is another thing they can do. That kind of adds to that dynamic sort of atmosphere. That would be cool.
That would be really good.
In theory, it would be cool, but
It'd be
if you're the
nightmare to-
player waiting to be rescued, it will be boring as hell.
That's fine.
And you can imagine when you're stressed out from work and you want to enjoy the game, and some things happen that might not be your fault, and then you're being held by these guys, and you can't actually get out and do the gameplay loop that you want to do. Like, what's going to stop people from logging off?
What's going to stop people
and
from
just,
backspacing?
doing it?
It's the same
Well,
thing.
you
You've
don't
got to wait to be
backspace when you're in
rescued.
Clasher. You log. Yeah, but think of it like Clasher. Clasher is the best way to look at it right now. When you're in Clasher, you don't backspace. You just log off, and that's what people do. They will just log off.
Depending on the length of the sentence, of course. But I'm saying if you're in a Nine Tails bunker, you're doing good, right? So you wouldn't be going to prison anyway. So, ergo, you're not going to want to backspace if Death of a Citizen, Death of a Spaceman is implemented. Obviously, the game would be more polished by that point. If you're going to die because of something, an accident, it's an accident. But
yeah,
even if you have a choice of like surrender or respawn, and if you surrender, you just respawn in captivity, and if you don't, you respawn, or you just you die and respawn wherever.
And say for instance you surrender and then you go off and do whatever you want to do. The mission is still raised for them to come and rescue you, but you are a casualty,
Yeah.
and then you have to be taken to a Leo or to a major hospital where they put you on the bed or something, and it takes your body, and they get their tick. Mission complete. Thanks very much.
They're finding their feet at the moment, and by them I mean CIG, of like actually catering for both sides. We've got relatively decent PvE and PvP stuff happening in a game, which that's tricky to get. When it comes to sort of like stuff like having Klesher as a punishment and having Death of the Spaceman as a punishment and losing like all your credits and all your reputation, like it would be nice to see if that scales depending on where you're at. So if you're in a safe area and you're a player that wants to have chilled out gameplay, you have that option. But then if you choose to do the risk reward stuff, that's when these kind of punishments that you're suggesting are coming in. Like I want that kind of flexibility so people can choose, tonight is not the night for me to get captured. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like
No one wants that.
Yeah.
But you know what people do want,
No.
and people have wanted for a while? I'm happy about it. I know
Saber
you're happy
weapon.
about it. Point at F7A. How are you getting on with yours? We're going to have to come back
Love
to
it.
the track
I
because
love
otherwise
it.
we're running off. But yeah.
But don't say like last time we we mentioned Mark II, but this time it's the Mark I, right?
It's both of them.
It's a
We've
special
not done
one.
this in a while. I've been away for a couple of weeks. You've been busy. Everyone's been busy. We've been rebranding slightly, as you can see. Quantum Dispatch. And yeah, so we've got the Mark 1 and Mark 2 in our hands. I love it. I actually prefer the Mark 1, not because of its rarity or
I
whatever.
love the paintwork. The paintwork, man.
Paintwork's
That
incredible.
white and green is just beautiful.
Dude, the
Like, I want to have
cockpit.
that paint job for the Mark II. Definitely.
The cockpit's just
yeah.
elite in the Mark 1. The only thing I don't like about Mark
Yeah.
1 is the thrusters. That you have to see it to know what I'm talking about, but it's like
the appendages. Woo!
Yeah, it's weird. It's yeah.
Yeah.
I know what it
It
looks
is.
like. I'm not gonna say that on stream.
But it's Mark 1 and the Mark 1's going, and do you know what they're doing with? I mean, the fact that they're taking away the Mark 1 so that you can't really purchase it anymore, but people can still have it in game. I really wish they did that for the 300 series, like the Mark 1 300. Like
maybe they'll bring it back.
if
Maybe
that would be
So
amazing.
I'm going to interject here because I said I had some theory crafting ideas. They removed the Mark 1 Hornet because it's going to be the first ship you can craft in game, in my opinion. So I think they've removed it now, and it's going to be gone for a year or two. And the idea is that people are now going to want it. So when they first create ship crafting in game, it's the simple. It's going to be one of the simplest ships to create, isn't it? It doesn't really like afford you much other than it's an average fighter. But I think that's going to be one of the first ships you can build in game with slight tweaks, different variants of blueprints you can find to craft. Obviously, like the tracker or the ghost or the rest of them. That's what I think is happening. It's going to be, yeah. I think that's what's happening.
Don't get me started on crafting. If I start talking about crafting, we will not leave.
Episode 2.
Episode
2. Immediately after this one.
Yeah. It could also be that it could also be a ship that you get for completing Squadron. I know the F8 was that, but it could also be something else for doing something in Squadron. You get a Mark 1 potentially. I don't know, but crafting would be cool. But I think that is that's such a big topic that that's definitely an episode 2 thing.
I'm just going to say this before we get to episode 2. Like the Pioneer base builder, but think of this, a variant of the Pioneer that's a factory, so that you can go, right, I've got a blueprint of a P4, or I've got a blueprint for this Hornet Mark 1. I'm just going to put it into this factory. It's going to land on a planet. It's just, you put the resources in, it's going to churn out Hornets, put them on a C2, take them out. Like, I would get one so bad. Like, factory ship, guys. Do you want to see it? And if so, what manufacturer do you want that done by? Let's go into the chat.
Consolidated Islands.
A factory. It's got to be Drake, isn't it?
It has to be Drake. Honestly, genuinely, it's got to be a Drake. Drake. I think they can already.
Or Aegis.
They can already craft dragonflies in the Kraken because he has a workshop.
But that's Drake.
Yeah,
So I
Drake,
believe that's
You
Drake or
can't
Aegis.
you can't expect to see Drake actually creating an Aegis ship because it won't.
no, but Drake isn't creating an Aegis ship. The owner of a Drake ship is creating an Aegis ship.
I think it would be the Argo or Consolidated Outland for a factory ship, like an Argo capital ship, because that's just the kind of style that
Yeah.
they do. Military stuff, though, I would like to see an Anvil capital ship that's sort of like, you know, you need cyclones on the on the battlefield. Sure, we'll land this. We'll start printing out cyclones for you. There you go.
I think CNO would be a good one though because
Yeah.
they're not affiliate. Like it's not like affiliated. They don't have like fingers in pies everywhere. They're a pretty meh brand.
Neither does Argo, though, right?
You take that back.
No, but Argo specifically like industrialists in regards to like mining.
Yeah.
So that would kind of like that's their niche.
Yeah.
CNO doesn't really have one.
CNO doesn't have a lot of stuff. It's like
No.
it's really, really thin on the ground when it comes to like ships and stuff. And it's
I
a
think
really
that makes
good
it such a
IP.
good idea though. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
they've got the Mustangs, they've got the Pioneer, like they've got so much good stuff, like, you know, that they could build off of, but they haven't touched them yet. So like it's Argo is industry, not just mining. That's right, Twitchy.
Just
That's why
very
it's
quickly,
factory ship.
going to interject. Our good friend Mr. GFA is going to have to shoot off, but before he does, one reminder, please, on the giveaway and how
No.
people can enter.
Yeah, one more reminder there will be 2 giveaways that will be running on some upcoming videos. One for Alien Week, which will include the Sulen Harmony paint and the Sulen Oculus paint. I still don't know how to say it.
Oculus!
all of which will come with lifetime insurance. And on top of that, I will also be running the Saber Firebird with LTI as well as a giveaway. There'll be 2 separate giveaways. I will announce the full details in videos that will be upcoming over the next couple of weeks on my YouTube channel. But if you're here right now watching, the part of the entry to be able to win these giveaways will be to follow Quantum Dispatch here on Twitch and to subscribe to the Quantum Dispatch YouTube channel. So go and support your boys here on Twitch and over on the YouTube, because that will be part of the giveaway. So you can get in early and then just watch out for that announcement to get officially into the swing of the giveaway. And if you're interested, there is currently an Invictus RSI Nurser with the MPU V tractor and an Aurora MI, all with LTI giveaway currently running on my channel. Check out the community tab, and that is it.
Nice. And you didn't have to use your little bleep button.
What f***ing bleep button?
I love it.
I do need to go. I need to go and have a shower and put my dog to bed, which is the weirdest sentence I think I'd I'd ever say. But my dog is basically a baby right now, so
Oh,
need to prepare for work. But just in case anyone is interested, I'm off. I'm off. I have no work for the next 3 weeks. I'll be playing some games. So let's get some games in over the next 3 weeks.
sounds great.
Awesome. Love you guys. Thank you very much. See you later,
Thanks for
chat,
joining us.
and see you later, QD crew.
Take care, man.
You too.
So, carrying on. DJ looks genuinely sad.
Well, how do we carry on from that? How
Thank God that guy's gone.
Oh, maybe.
how the fuck do we carry on from that? I don't even have a bleep button anymore.
God damn it.
Like, what's happening?
Damn it. Right, so we're a bit all over the place now. We're gonna see the viewer count just go, oh, GFA's gone there. Wear his hat today as well. Cool.
Should we throw it to the chat? See what questions they've got from
Yes.
what we've discussed today? Let's go to it. Go on, chat. Throw us your worst questions.
And in the meantime, when are we going to get Xi'an strip clubs?
Oh my god.
No.
Right, hold on. Sorry, wait.
237 asking.
Hold on. We've been sent something. Some actually, this is brilliant. This is class. Right, some fan art. The Clearius Farm.
That is from our one and only Borderkin.
Yes, yes. It is.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'd certainly subscribe to that channel. Definitely.
I'd watch that. I mean, I've just finished Clarkson's Farm, Series 3.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking. Places. Heartbreaking. But yeah.
Life on the farm, man.
It's
Gonna be
brilliant.
hard.
It's absolutely
Right.
brilliant.
It's gonna be harder than Death of the Spaceman farming in Star Citizen. I tell you, it's gonna be.
You're
bloody
gonna
hard.
struggle when I'm nuking your space cows.
I'm gonna offer
Like your
you
farm
round.
is glassed.
I'm gonna offer you round for tea. You're gonna land in an A2 and just be like, I've just parked my Moabs out back, and I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
just
that's where you're
leave,
buying. I'm not going to
just leave
land with
Pepper,
an
man. Just leave Pepper.
A2. Pepper's got obliterated.
Pepper's been peppered.
Yeah, Pepper's here, there, and everywhere.
So Swanky sent us a question.
Point.
What do we
Pepper
think
boy.
they're going to do at sitcom?
Oh, they're gonna show ships and make us open our
Yeah, they're
wallets.
gonna give ship.
Before we get into questions, though, there was a part where we were talking about cluster bombers back earlier. I couldn't get a word in edgeways. The A1. We need that ability to launch boom, 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 boom. And just do like
Yeah,
one run. Boom, 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 boom. Goodbye.
yeah, not just like. I mean, those are size 5. Those bombs, like, they
More
need
effective.
to be. I think
Or
they need.
size 3.
I even think they need to be like size 1s or size 2s, but have just so many of them, so they just like the rate of them coming out is ridiculous, and it just paints the ground.
Leave it
with
as it is.
Explosions.
With let Crusader have their A1. I don't really want it to be reconcepted, and yeah, we can.
No, not
leave that.
reconcepted. Just switch out the bombs. That's all.
But there's only what 8.
Have you heard of desync? I think if you
not-
start putting more smaller munitions, certain munitions are going to get lost just in the game.
It's just that 4-second timer between each launch. It's just like.
It is disgusting, to be fair. It needs to be like 1 second or something
Mm.
like
Less,
that. You
or
have to
less
chain
than
up some.
that. It's like you set how many bombs you want, and it should just be like duff, 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 boom. Like, go for that. That'd be great.
And flares, if you've got more than 2, then they launch sideways out, a bit like an F-22, where it splays up. That looks class. But at the moment, it's like.
The A1 needs some laxatives, Bordkin. Yes or no?
Explain yourself.
I
Yes.
think he basically needs. He needs.
Hey, Joe. Bordekin, join the
It's
stage. Come
constipated and it
and
needs
come and
to
explain
be
yourself. Yeah, no, I completely agree. It needs to be faster. You need to be able to. Yeah.
Swanky just put A1 diarrhea. Oh
Mm.
my god.
But,
This
yeah.
is what 7 meshing is not for, guys. It's not for this filth. It's to like.
Right, here he is. Mr. Bordekin is going to come and speak.
I would like to see them get some kind of hand firing rocket or missile that is like a javelin, so it like goes top down. That would be awesome.
Indirect
Or you
fire.
could either have it. Yeah, you could switch between fire directly at target or indirect fire. That would be awesome.
Mr. Bordekin, you have the floor. Please explain to everyone why the A1 needs laxative.
Well, it's just the fire rate currently. It just feels like it's a little bit constipated. Like it's really trying to squeeze that next bomb out in a decent amount of time.
Wow, this is the first thing that you say on this channel.
It's the first thing I was asked to say.
Oh no!
I mean, I
Is
can't.
it fire rate?
Yeah.
It's a good thing you're a dab hand with Photoshop with that Clarkson's. I mean, McCleary's farm.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's top notch, top draw. I want to see a full Twitter campaign to bring that to fruition, and I want to get in front of Disco and see what he thinks.
I might just get some pamphlets out ready and start handing them around on Saturday at the bar.
Let's do it.
Event.
We're sided with the concept behind the show. Would you watch this? Yes, no. Tweet
Can I
hashtag.
be in it?
Well, I watch it. I binge it, and all the seasons that came out.
I know someone would do a good job to be Gerald as well. Yeah, CJ was thinking it as well.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh well, you'd have to go and watch some of GFA Plays' videos to experience the engineer.
Yeah.
Who shall remain
The
nameless.
engineer that cannot be killed by a herald self-destruct. Is impervious to damage.
It's brilliant.
And suffocation, to be honest.
Does he come with LTI?
I hope not.
Apparently he does. Apparently he
Yeah.
does. So, whilst we have you, Mr. Bordekin, Invictus, what did you mount? What did you buy, and why?
I got the base Fatapilla, the Ironclad. I was torn between that and the Assault because I wasn't sure the Assault would actually open up at the top. Obviously now it's confirmed that it does, so I'm not really sure which way to go, to be honest. But that was literally it for Invictus. Shortly after I managed to re-pick up a Vindicator, but that's about it.
So what you're saying is during Invictus, you picked up the only ship that wasn't actually released during Invictus.
Yeah, I guess
The
so.
defense con ship.
Basically.
Did you not buy anything from any other manufacturer? Or did
Um,
you test fly something and enjoy it?
I had a look at the Polaris an awful lot. Oh yeah, wait, yeah, I actually got the Polaris. I completely forgot about that.
Did you try
Yeah,
and
I
glitch
forget about that
inside?
as well.
Pardon?
Did you try and glitch inside? And if so, how long did
Oh
you
yeah,
spend?
of course.
So everyone tried it.
Good while. They tried the old crash into it as fast as you can and hope you somehow survive and clip inside it.
Mm.
Part of,
Landing gear tends to be a good area, or like just underneath the bridge, like you just like, and you're in there.
yeah, many different ways. But what else did I try?
I didn't get to get in there.
I really didn't try many of the ships. I don't tend to go into the convention, to be honest.
Wait, so did you or did you not get the medical beacon?
Oh, I got the medical beacon, but
Yeah.
you just get that for
I've
like,
seen-
logging on 3 different days, right?
Seen some posts today, people
Yeah.
looking to buy for $75.
What?
Yes.
For something you literally had to log into the game 3 times for?
Yep.
Or if someone in chat wants to buy one for $75, I've got one for you.
I,
I'll tell you what I do.
Reddit. Not in this
It's
chat.
I- The
Right.
thing is, though, I don't know why they're doing that. I actually found one in the loot pool last patch. Like you could actually pick it up. It was there. It was, you know, it was actually in the loot pool. You could put it in your bag and everything.
I put it
So-
back. I found one. I put it back because it was just like this. It's just like sticking out. I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
It still does that. I don't really know why.
And you could attach it to your vest,
Mm.
like, or whatever it was.
I mean, you can always do more wee woos.
Do you know what? I've got it, but I haven't actually seen how it works.
No, and I probably would never get out.
A bit like the Banner Cube.
Unless actually, yeah, if I could place the wee woo on the ground and it wee woos, I'll leave it in my hanger. So every time I call my hanger out, it's just a little wee woo going off the corner
Mm.
with
I think-
like someone's body. I'll reappropriate Easton's body, and it will just have a wee woo on it in the corner of my.
You ain't doing
my
nothing to
cargo
my
hanger.
body. We need a Weeboo counter on this channel now. Like I'm literally like Weeboo and Drake counter on this channel, and probably a Star Wars Galaxies channel. You know,
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxies would probably trump
I've
Drake.
only
for sure.
mentioned it twice. You've mentioned Drake a lot, and One Dark's mentioned Sea of Thieves more than I've mentioned
One time.
that game
One time.
twice
When?
this stream.
No, just
My
once.
lord.
Definitely twice.
I'll have to go back and rewatch
When
it.
are you playing Sea of Thieves then?
What's that?
When are you going to play some Sea of Thieves?
I mean,
New update.
so many new
Hey,
updates.
that's some funky stuff now.
Nah, there's a big one.
What's his name? Big guy in the sky. Not Firebeard.
Jesus.
God?
I can't remember. He's back, so that's great.
Oh, Flameheart.
That's the one, Flameheart. Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
out, but
No.
Well-
Oh, did you just see what Swanky just put?
Chris Roberts.
I sold my Banu cube for sum of in-game money.
where's that
Was
in-game
that
money
before
now?
or after the wipe? Yeah. God.
Oh no,
Chris
do you know what? I
Roberts.
think what he means
None
is
of you guys. You guys are. You
I
haven't
think what
been
he
here
means-
for ages.
I heard about people like this today. They've been claiming their codes, but then in-game per patch selling these rare items out to people. And some people they trade them, so they'll sell it and then they'll try and find one for cheaper and then sell it again. And yeah, this is how that. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he did.
I know there are people who do that with certain paints, like
Wow, that's exactly what he did. I stand correct. That's a great idea. Nice one, because it will always come back to you.
The thing
which
is, paints can't be
crazy.
dropped in game.
No, but
Not
you can
yet.
put them in a container.
Oh,
Put the container on the floor.
didn't know that. I tried that. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
You guys
I
don't
don't know.
know
You can definitely do it.
the ultimate, most rarest item in game is the lamp, and that is
It's sitting there in my buybacks, not letting me buy it back. It's
yeah.
infuriating.
We can't. Can you send us a screenshot quickly so people can see?
Yeah.
Because CJ and Wonder, you guys weren't here, and I imagine most of the people in chat weren't here when it was happening. But like back in
Praise
the
lamp.
day, back in when the hangar was that, there's even a picture of Chris Roberts holding a lamp because there was a thing back in the day where they just put a lamp in the
It was one of the hanger decorations in the electronic access store.
yeah, and
Oh.
there's actually an organization called Lamp, and it was specifically made as like a religious group because Chris Roberts held up a lamp.
07 for Mash in chat.
There we go.
Thank you very much
What?
for dropping in,
Oh
buddy.
my god.
Are
Yeah,
you
thank you so much.
coming
Great to
this
see.
weekend? If you even know about it, to Barsets in Manchester.
I think last time I asked him, he said no.
Oh no!
Which, speaking of the cube, we do get the
He's
the new
got
item.
to.
Right, so we've
Right,
had the
hold on.
cube, we've had the spinner. Ah, beautiful place to move to, though. Beautiful place.
There you go. I've
Um,
just sent that to you.
Beautiful. Before we do that, this is what we're getting from now on. So no more spinner, no more cube. Hail the Jian pyramid? Question
Broken
mark.
rock.
Broken
It
rock.
looks like Jean Ferrero Rocher, like just just like on a
No, there we
plate.
go. Praise the Gian Toblerone.
I mean,
Yeah, Jean Toblerone. It is chocolate.
it's all about 70% what you look like, 30% what you say, right? I feel like this dude is like, the hell is this? What does it do? I wonder what it
I went all the way
does.
to Manchester for this.
The fact he's wearing the armor set that matches it as well.
The riskiest flight suit in
I
all the land.
I
Yeah.
cannot stand that. It looks like that armor is from like a 70s, 80s really off-brand, under like what's it, funded sci-fi show. Like it just looks awful.
I've sent you a picture of the lamp, by the way. Wonder.
Oh, you both sent me that.
Looking at my buyback list, there's
Oh,
a few things
okay.
like that. Like, there's
Right.
literally just a bed, a
Okay,
cot
from
bed.
both of these. Okay. Whilst we're doing that, Mash, show the love, man. This new channel. Give us that follow. Give us that honey.
Wow.
Give us that juice.
Wow.
He's not so easy. Like he
He's gonna make me
he's
work
a
for it.
connoisseur.
Make me grind.
He's gonna
the
make you
content's
work for
worth
it.
it.
So
Yeah.
chat. What? No, I was gonna do a thing.
Well, never mind. He did the thing. Right. Okay. So here, the lamp.
Oh,
Praise the lamp.
praise the lamp.
And
And
all
if you
praise the
don't
lamp.
believe me, go to organizations and type in lamp. So we're talking like, oh my god, this is ages ago. It says 2018 there, but lamp. The
Oh yeah, it was
first
way
time
before
lamp
then.
went on sale, that was when it went crazy, and a whole religion was started just by one picture.
So, I mean, I don't have this. I don't know about this. I've only been playing since what, 22. What does that say underneath the not available? It says, why can't I what? Why can't I pledge for this item? Or
Yeah.
It's because it was part of the previous store. They actually had an Alpha UEC store
oh,
Yeah.
of course
on
it
the
is.
website where you could buy things.
You could
And
buy
it was
ship weapons, and it was all linked to your hangar, as in like the actual in-game hangar, the hangar module. So one that sort of like when they started stop, they weren't working on the hangar anymore. They were working on the PU, and when that happened, they were just like, "Here's the new store," and they updated the store because electronic access was that no,
Yeah. Electronic access was what it was.
yeah, like that just it's just like legacy stuff. They just need to get rid of it after a while, I imagine.
Can't wait to get my fish tank with all my fish though.
Yep. Midas
so good.
fish.
Got all my fish.
What
I actually
happened?
missed the
We
jukebox that they had.
Oh yeah. I think that's probably an item that CIG wishes they could probably delete because they had so many people ask, can we put our own music into this so we can hear it in game? And for CIG, that's a massive copyright area. They've even mentioned it. They said like, people can't put their own music on
They've got
because
Pedro Camacho. Who needs
copyright.
their own music? Just put the launcher music on. Who's leaving the hangar?
This is the
Who
thing.
cares? There's space out there.
Like,
There's music here.
I mean, how many people like GTA's like radios and stuff like that?
Yes.
They have
Oh yeah,
so many
keep it
voice
up there.
actors and there's so many like probably musicians as citizens. Like it would be great if people could compose music and actually donate it to like Star Citizen for like a ship or something like that, and then it gets put into like a Moby Glass radio like app. So when you're in Quantum, you can like just
Mm.
I'm listening to the conspiracy theorist radio channel, or I'm listening to the trance music or rock, whatever's your poison.
I
That'd be
mean,
amazing.
wasn't that part of the idea behind the Reliant variant that's like a news van? Is that there'd be like player owned like TV channels and radio stations and stuff like that? Like, I'm not
Yeah.
sure obviously if that's still gonna be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like the mate, not the Mako. No, the Mako is the Reliant. That's the TV variant. Like
Yeah.
that was the whole stream to texture thing. Like there's, I think their focus is still heavily on all that sort of stuff, but it's just how well can they connect those systems up in game and have them link outside of game. I really hope that people that are working that can't actually join the game, they could turn on their phone and there'd be, if CIG was to do like a Mobiglass app for the phone, so you could interact with stuff in game whilst you're at work, and you could look at someone like streaming stuff, that would be really cool. But hey, let's see what
I
happens.
want the fishing camp soundtrack off of Rust, and that's all I want to listen to. And if you've not heard it before, go and Google it. If I can get that in SC, then I'm happy.
Yep.
So the issue.
Or they should do what?
Here comes the comms up in me. Is you're traveling faster than the speed of light. Radio frequencies travel at the speed of light. So
Yeah.
you have to come up with some
Now-
like fictional sort of. We say now they're always going to travel at the speed of light. There's nothing you can use
Yeah,
to
but
propel
there might
them
be
faster.
some kind of technology in 2954 that we can't comprehend that will change that.
I would hope so.
They can barely
Understand?
make missiles that fly towards other ships correctly in 2954. So
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good point. But like, when it comes down to it, like our whole kind of like idea on physics might have changed by then. So, what's to say you can't have radio when you're in quantum?
yeah, I mean, it's still
So last time I got excited about
Just-
radio on
just,
ships.
Just that pause, just like, no.
no. It should be it's a buffer. So like when you go into quantum, you're just watching the rest of that buffer that you've got loaded, and all of a
Mate,
sudden you get the spinny wheel of death.
TV
we
on
just
demand.
get we just get one dark's LTI Dyson sphere, use that energy to produce like materials, so we have like the longest Ethernet cable, and then we plug it into the ship so that it can travel like from point A to point B. I think that's something that we're gonna like look into. So,
Sorry, you bring in my Ethernet cable into this.
and your LTI Dyson sphere.
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking about the Ethernet cable from Belgium.
Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah, you know. I mean, when you go traveling with a guy and you see their like toothbrush like wash kit and all that stuff, and you a man's like was an ex like no is a member of the Royal Signals, like when he's got an Ethernet cable in his damn toothbrush kit, like
It's lived in there for years.
amazing.
It's
You know
it's
when you
like one
gotta
of
plug
them.
in?
It's one of them drawers where you've got the bits of wood and you need just that precise piece. It's like one day that Ethernet cable is gonna come in handy. And I'd be like, yes.
Mate, I thought you were an operator. I thought you were going to say, "Give me your Valkyrie Liberator," and like strangle me with it. And I have to tap out and say, "I'll give you the Liberator." But
Well, I am
you
that
didn't take
guy,
it
but not all the time.
that way. Oh my god!
If everyone knew that I'd mark and avoid me, I am still looking for that Valkyrie Liberator edition. 6 months, 10 years, lifetime. I don't mind. Just gib now. Thanks.
I think 10 years is how long you're going to be looking for one, to be honest.
I know.
It's crazy. They've like gone straight into the woodwork. Like you know, but we saw. I think that last mission with the cargo boxes for the what was the name of the line of events for the F7A?
Overdrive?
Yeah, overdrive events. There was that situation where we went and there was 2 Valkyries, all Liberator edition, flown by AI, and we also saw a Saber Raven flown by AI as well. And it was just like, what the hell's going on here? And you like you were like, you're just pissing with me now. What the hell? Like,
Yeah.
give me a
Was
Valkyrie
that
Liberator.
was that when I headbutted them
Yes.
with
Yeah.
the hammerhead?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like,
That,
That was
oh,
good.
I forgot about that part, but yeah, now I remember.
that's me with the
Yeah.
rail guns. I'm like, wait, hold on. That's a Liberator edition. And then the second one comes, I was like,
When you're pulling that trigger, I could just imagine. I really want that ship.
I still think it's criminal
Right,
that they allowed the Saber Raven into the loop, to the AI pool. Need to take that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed it.
I have too much respect for that.
I've got to head out anyway, guys, but thanks for having me on for a short while.
Ah,
Thank you for joining.
popping in.
Yeah, I'll definitely be around for future ones. That's the
Awesome.
point. But yeah, if I don't speak to you beforehand, I'll see you on Saturday one day.
Yeah, see you then, buddy. 07.
Saturday Bar Citizen.
Did you just say 07 IRL?
Yeah, I did. And what? You just said it
Right,
as well.
that's a typey thing.
Complaining.
It's just like people
Again.
when they say M9, mate.
No. No.
Oh dear.
No.
I put a post up earlier on Twitter about the time I asked Elliot Maltby for, must be his fan club here, for a in-game camera for screenshots and stuff like that. And yeah, I think
It's called print screen.
no, it's not. No, because there's so much you can do with a camera. It's like, so at the moment you can sort of get your field of view up. That's field of view, depth of field even. But you can't rack that depth of focus. And I don't know if Citizen Diverse is still in chat, but it's something I can't do. Maybe someone else can do it. But yeah, without moving the camera backwards and forwards, I'm glad Squarish isn't here because we'll just pan forward. Call it you dolly forward or whatever it's called. Yeah, without
It'd be
doing
different
that,
because it would be a drone that you deploy from your personal system that would follow you around or something.
could have a
and
camera
you
drone.
control it via your Moby Glass.
But the one thing I truly am
just play the
dreading,
game.
not just for myself, but for the entire community, is when the camera disappears and it's just FPS and that's it. That's not what I want.
I think we'll see it back in other ways though. You know, I think they mentioned for landing they wanted to have like some way so people could see what the landing gear's doing. So you know, maybe they have different cameras on the ship, so when you're actually on board, you can access them via the MFDs or something like that, and you could see outside the exterior of the ship. So uh, the the third person camera is a massive way of exploiting the game because it can clip through stuff. So they do need to say bye bye to that. But I think having some kind of in-game drone that you can, I mean, think of this, right? You can go like set orbit. So there is orbiting a target that you select, and it's like you're able to have like set the focus and all that sort of stuff. Like that would be sick.
I want cameras in the game because, you know, I spent like 2 entire weeks and my only gameplay thing that I was doing in the game was setting up CCTV camera system on a Carrack. I would love to see that like internal cameras as well as external cameras. Like you said earlier, it's 2954. Teslas nowadays have cameras all the way around. So why can we not get cameras in game? And maybe not necessarily pilot controlled, maybe support seat to give you the element of
Yeah, security
requiring
officer.
someone else to guide you down. And yeah, someone's security, but also like when you're parking, someone to sit there and go like beep 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 beep, beep when you're trying to park. So I think that'd be a cool little addition, just a quality of life addition, to be honest. Not needed, but
Well,
nice.
I know that like rendering different parts of the game and like recording it costs a lot of assets. But I'm wondering how that would server meshing like actually improve that, and with graphics cards, how powerful they're getting now. Like, could it be dependent on what rig that you have? But I would like to see different camera angles on ships so that when you're flying, you could go, right, I want to record like an over the shoulder shot, and I want to record a shot of like, you know, on the nose of my ship, and like you have like 3 angles, so that when you're flying, you can record them, and it drops all these into a separate folder, so that when you're editing footage and stuff, you've got 3 different angles from one ship. Because right now in game, you have to get multiple people to set up a proper shoot, and it'd be really, really great to have some kind of system where my 3080 Ti can just go, yeah, I can record 3 different angles from the same game. Because I think it's getting to the point now where it can handle that. But you wouldn't want to do FPS or anything like that with it.
Okay, so what if they did this instead? Instead of having the camera as we have it now, it becomes a drone, but there's a transition period where you've got to wear it up and take it down. So you can't just use it for that. I'm going to stand here and ambush anyone who comes down the corner, but I'm going to get the jump on them because I'll see them coming without having like a 4 or 5 second delay, in which case negates the benefit of having that.
Providing you can shoot it down, yeah, I think Twitchy's right there. Like,
Or
I think
it flashes or something. Doesn't affect your footage, but it flashes.
Yeah.
And you can have like EM, like electronic warfare, but like FPS electronic warfare. People carrying backpacks with like sort of like little jammers in, and then that way it benefits you during combat kind of thing, or it completely shuts down com links between players and stuff like that.
That'd be crazy with the new kind of like we're seeing night vision on the way. Like, if they're able to identify like your team members on the field but with a drone, so you're looking at the Moby glass and the drone's flying overhead, and you see like your teammates are silhouetted in green, and then you have like random contacts that are out your team, so they get highlighted with like red. So your main job on the FPS is to be the guy that checks out the targets there and calling them out while you got your mates shooting. That would be really cool, I think.
It'll probably be like strobes, so you have like your IR strobe, the same way it's done currently.
Yeah.
To distinguish friendlies. But then if they're wearing IR strobes as well, then that's when it gets a bit fancy. But it's 2954, so you could have different frequency strobes potentially.
These
Would
poor
that be something that
programmers.
you're interested in?
Say that again.
Would that be something that you're interested in? Like, having a drone, like having a drone operator in your squad, like checking stuff out, like checking the land.
I think not necessarily FPS drones in that regard, but I can imagine certain ships that have drones becoming useful for FPS missions. So imagine having your, I'm going to say this, Nautilus, or potentially a Karak, or even probably not necessarily the Reclaimer, but something that can have an observation drone that
Vulcan,
can like
maybe?
fly all the way down. It's supposed to be a repair drone in the Vulcan though.
Yeah.
I don't want to like multi-role things too much. But then being able to fly a drone, obviously no quantum drive, so they have to be in like low Earth orbit kind of thing. But then fly a drone down and that can have it. Don't know if you ever played. I don't even remember what game it was now. It was a Tom Clancy's game where they had like the drones in the sky,
Oh,
like in observation.
Ghost Recon.
And it might have been that, and you had these drones like high in the sky, but they could see the battle picture and then guide people in. I think that would be a cool aspect. but not an F. You could have an FPS drone, but I think it would purely be like
No, I
a
don't mean like
camera
shooting.
force.
I just mean
No.
camera.
Yeah, camera, but you got to think: is it going to be observable by the person that deployed it, or observable from a captain that's overseeing the mission? Or are
Or
you
your
going to have an
team.
FPS FPV drone pilot that's off the battle picture, giving you commands and stuff?
But what about your team? Like if you got as app goes, like if you have a ground team app, so you could see like a camera perspective from everyone plus that aerial drone, so you could see where you're at. Like,
Yeah, no, that would make sense because obviously you've seen there's some games out there that I'm not going to mention, but like they follow drones around. So when they're doing building clearances, the drone flies through the building, but very very closely behind it is point man in a squad, so they can get that instantaneous calls. But I think obviously if you're facing like a band of rebels, then yeah, that'd be great. But if you're fighting other players, you can be sure that they have a drone operator, but then they also have someone within like the EW realm, so that are just going to shut those drones down straight away.
Yeah.
But then again, I suppose if you kill that EW person, then drones are back on the battlefield, kind of thing. I think the way they want the game to go, all of this theory crafting could all be implemented eventually. I'd like, yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. But I think observation drones would be the first thing. Like the ship drones, the large drones would be a really cool addition.
Yeah.
Especially for like when people want to do their ship based footage. So all the content creators can still do it if they've got someone who's flying a camera around, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Right. Back to it. Why have we stopped? What?
And on that note,
Easton's blue screened.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a lot going on, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to the next patch.
So what is coming? Patch cargo delayed. I need to get in amongst this patch news for the next one because what was there is now delayed. Is it still there, or is it delayed the patch? Obviously, Zenith rate has been delayed, which we've obviously touched on already. Yeah. 4.0.
I think we've hit pretty much most of it.
Exploration. Being promised the Zeus ES.
That's definitely for another day, I think.
It is.
This exploration is so big.
you can keep the Zeus ES.
Chat, any last questions? Any last requests?
I want to see Kyosa low fly a surveillance drone from like a drone ship.
I want to
It'd be
see
interesting.
that, but also McCleary's farm.
Yes.
And you're going to get the glassing part 3.
Yep.
I also want to see more lamp. We love lamp.
More lamp.
More lamp.
More
Have
lamp.
you heard of the lamp? The gibboning.
Might look for that. But yeah, seriously, McCleary's farm, great idea.
The
More of
gibboning.
this.
There we go. Swanky fisherman. Yep.
The gibboning.
So the gibboning, I just want to give back to our wonderful audience tonight, how fantastic they are and have always been on this first episode.
Yeah, smashing it out of the park. Chat has never been more busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never
'Cause I'm
been
here.
more busy. Yeah, they all come for the Drake hat.
Of course.
So it was in the tweet. Everyone knew it was going to be here.
It's always going to be here.
So no questions
Drake just...
apart from just the gibboning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Drake keep doing what they're doing, there's a chance that I might in the future become a Drake fan. I never thought I'd say that.
One of us. One of us.
I said might. Not there
Yeah,
yet.
that's good enough for me. The fact that you said might means that this is happening.
Yep.
Let's face it, no one's an Origin fan anymore.
I'm still attached to my M50 and 350R.
I mean, I like my 315p, but it's only because it's got a tractor beam and it's useful. It's not a nice ship.
What else? Hyperion will fight you. Yeah, he will.
I know he will. And
Question.
he will enjoy being defeated.
Question to One Duck. We eating chicken wings this Saturday?
Do I breathe air? That's what I've been
Swanky
thinking about.
Fisherman is going there.
We were talking about wings, and it's all I've been thinking.
Wings. Yeah, Swanky Fisherman loves RSI and he will die on that hill. Don't need to die alone on that hill, Swanky. I love RSI as well. They really like some of their older stuff looks really dated, but boy, I mean, I don't. The exterior of the Polaris, I mean, the engines look fantastic, but the further you go down, it just sort of like it sort of goes from fantastic, amazing to like at the front. But when you're inside it, I think it's going to look amazing. Is the Polaris Perseus one of the best looking combat vessels in game so far? That ship looks beautiful, and I can't wait for it.
I can't wait to get my hands on my $15 Perseus. Oh,
$15 Perseus. What?
$15 Perseus, yeah.
Hang on, you doing what I think you're doing? You will have an account bound Perseus.
I will have an account bound Perseus. Actually, I say I would. I have an account bound Perseus.
That's the best kind of Perseus.
Yeah.
For 15.
You
So-
don't want to get rid of a Perseus.
No, but
Like
he's
it's
got
absolutely.
he's got rid of the carrack to get there.
It's not
Yes.
big though. Like it's not that
The-
big. It's
It's
smaller
how
than
you
the
use it, okay?
God.
Yeah. It's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. So
Wait,
I
you've been
will
waiting
have
all night to say that.
I will have a carrack though. But the problem is I don't want a base carrack. So I've traded my base carrack for a Perseus, and eventually I will get myself a carrack expedition with C8 Pisces. So
Are they
that's
still
my
selling
my
the
push.
expedition?
No, but you can still get a CCU for it.
Swanky says you're going to use it for box missions. He's not wrong.
No, I'm going to use it to stop people doing bots missions. I'm going to park it right outside of Art Corp, and then straight after a wipe, and there's new people in a free fly, just going to destroy them.
Oh no.
I'm not, because that's griefing, and that's not me.
That is you. That is you
No.
down to a T. That I mean, you're griefing me just mentally with Drake on a daily frigging basis, and
No, never.
it's, I'm gonna like when we go for that curry at CitizenCon, I'm gonna fly over that table like Emperor Palpatine did at those Jedi. I'm just gonna like, let's
Right.
go.
So I guess
I
that's
have my
going to bring
costume
us.
sorted for right there. So
Go on. I was going to say it's going to bring us to a close for our first episode, but carry on, CJ. I've got a plan for us in a minute.
I have my costume for CitizenCon that I am 100% going to try and do. Everyone saw my character creator character.
No, no,
I genuinely believe that's
no.
what I'm going for. That
No,
I'm
I-
going for the bob.
I can't be
Like,
seen in public with you like that. No,
well,
GFX Wolves,
I'm going
thanks
to
for the follow.
handcuff myself to your left arm.
no,
So yep. Because
no.
at the end of the day, it's mine. I got to own it. So
Dude, that
What's
picture
that
went
album when that
viral.
guy set himself on? What's that album where that guy set himself on fire? Oh God.
I don't know. But
There's an old album with it. This like Buddhist monks just sat like knelt down and he set himself on fire. That's gonna be me in the line of CitizenCon when I'm attached to you with handcuffs. If you look
I'm
like
also
that,
going to get a med gown as well.
oh, there was a couple of guys at the Beacon that had like med gowns and a box, and they were running away from They were running away from some guys in like some armor and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get myself a little Pico plushie, med gown, and then dress myself up on my character creator, which is funny because it's a female character. So
You could just
interesting.
get your seal plushie, get another one.
Yeah, get my chunk. Well, I've already got. I have already got a Pico, so he might make an appearance at CitizenCon. Get Meep. No, it's not Meep. It's called Chunk. But yes. And what was your finale?
Right, okay,
Honda?
so I think this has been a fantastic episode. I love being back. I already can't wait to do the next one. We've always got so much to talk about. What we put on our list beforehand, before we do this, I don't think we've ever made it the whole way through that list. Even though we run over, we still had 4.0 on there to talk about. There's still elements that I wanted to chime in, and which would have taken the conversation on tangents, no doubt. However, for every Englishman in the chat right now, sound off, because
Holla!
Walter Patat is live, and we are going to go and raid her with our, I don't know how many viewers because I can't see that screen right now. I want everyone to go in there and rule Britannia, rule Britannia, rule Britannia. Just don't tell them we sent you.
How about
make a copy pasta.
What?
Make
Sorry.
a copy pasta in chat, and so we can copy and paste it.
Okay. What do? Yes.
Oh, that's Swankies.
Yes, everyone.
Should we just steal Swankies?
Bradley on Spanky. So, with no much ado, thank you ever so much for chiming in. Give us that much loved follow. Man, yeah, I can't wait to be back. When are we back? Are we Sunday? Maybe.
Just want to clarify. Don't say Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Say Britannia, Britannia rules the verse. That'll be a lot better for that.
More personal.
We're taking it over, man. One system at a time. Before China gets here.
Yes, so there is the copy pasta. Right, is everyone ready? I must admit, I don't know quite how to do this. It's the first time we've done this. Oh wait, what? Is she still alive?
You can do /raid.
I'll laugh if you accidentally raid someone else.
She's gone offline. Literally just we've missed our chance. Seconds. Right, okay, let's have a look. I tell you what, let's open this up. Let's bring this into chat. This is what the community is about, right? Is doing stuff. Right. Here we are. Who are we raiding? Should we find someone that's like really small? It's got like, or do we go big? Yo-Yo Meg is online. That's why she's not in this chat. I'll tell you what, Swanky, you've got ADHD, right? Yo-Yo has got, she runs on like 1.5 speed. She's lovely, but she is rapid at how she speaks. Just say 07 in,
I can't handle
chat. I know it's actually quite entertaining to watch. I feel like I'm watching a video on speed. But yeah, she's class. Who else have we got? Who else? Mr. Vader's dad.
Can we anyone flying an alien ship or a Drake ship, they get cancelled. Oh, there's someone with like a C1 there, or that looks like a C2.
Just had to thought. Is combat still streaming? I don't believe he is. Earlier. Come back to us for now.
Hair carrot.
Combat carrot.
Yeah, man. Hair carrot, Mr. Carrot.
He is streaming.
What is he streaming though?
We got it.
We want to keep it in house.
We gotta say hi.
I'm not going to send citizens over.
Yeah.
Slaughter if he's playing Siege.
He's playing Siege.
Okay, let's not do him this time. Unless anyone wants to go and see Siege. Yeah, right. Yo-Yo is cool. Let's do Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
So what are we saying to Yo-Yo? Anyone?
We're the first person to come out with that Britannia
rules the first.
But it was a South African, the first person to come out with.
I mean,
not even. No, I suppose actually is. Yeah, if the shoe fits.
I tell you what, if we don't use the exclamation marks, it looks less botty. Britannia rules the first.
Yeah, copy in Swanky's last message.
Right, okay, let's do this. Thank you ever so much for joining us, and we'll see you all again soon.